Peut-être tout ça.
The owl of the night. What groovy music he makes. It's in Showman's Night Owl, Skilly-Boo-Bop, Whirling Show. Disco Plesiosaur. Chicken dinner. Jack Oxen. Chicken dinner.
Oh, this is insane. Okay. That's weird. Okay.
I'm so sleepy I can't seem to keep awake.
And now it's time for night owling with that fuzzy-faced friendly giant. And Shoma.
Oh! Yeah!
Oh my god, this is gonna be weird.
We haven't done one of these in a while. Strap yourselves in to the wooden masses located right next to your computer as me and Brayton, those rare male sirens, perhaps the last in all of eternity, lure you and your eardrums to your doom. Here on Night Alley.
About half of those words were pronounced correctly. What do you think a music video for a song like that would look like?
You know, it's funny. I was actually thinking about that. I was just going to use a bunch of nighttime footage, both that I filmed and also maybe just randomly plucked from public domain movies. Because I was thinking
Three Shaolin monks with painted chests, nude, crumping. Answered your own question. Answered my own question. That's how I do things here.
I wasn't thinking anything that elaborate.
It would leave the audience speechless because they're Shaolin monks.
Right, and we would cut back and forth, every once in a while to like you and me in like bizarre owl makeup, just watching with our eyes wide, not reacting whatsoever.
The real deciding matter in how entertaining this video is the age of said monks.
Yeah, 30-year-olds.
No!
40-year-olds?
No, I'm not shooting a frame of film if they're not at least 82.
Okay, you're going older, okay. No, let's do 60, that way they can do the crumpeting and it won't, like, kill them.
What, if it does kill them, we'll, put in their honor and sell the proceeds to their family.
I don't want... No one should die on a film set for something that's stupid.
Give me the camera, Raph. Give me the camera. Let me have the camera.
Proceeds will go to his family, if I remember them. Let's get that monkey.
Their unseen family. I saw a post on Facebook that gave me some pause, and it was Peter Jackson's giant grinning face with the headline, Peter Jackson returns to a project for a sequel 20 or 10 years later, or whatever the fuck it said. And I said, oh no, he's not stuck in Hobbit land again, is he? Because I guess there's another, there's a Gollum miniseries or a movie coming out.
Oh.
And I imagined it was going to be that. But so you'll be happy to know that he is, I guess, returning to Tintin.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad. So okay. Yeah, but then again, Peter Jackson's kind of lost the flair recently, so it might be bad.
Sock it to him, Raph. Let him have it.
No, just I haven't been impressed with a lot of his more recent movies. So,
yeah,
but then again,
that Peter Jackson.
Yeah. No, they've all been like bad Hobbit spin-offs, just so Warner Brothers can keep in control of the copyright.
I saw the first Hobbit movie in theaters. I didn't see any of the other 2 of the unnecessary what should have been 1.
Mhm.
But I guess at this point, since I have completed the Lord of the Rings track with that trilogy, I would be interested in seeing like the fan edits, like the Tolkien cuts of the Hobbit trilogy that whittle it down to, one 3-hour film. I guess I would watch that.
I join you, to be honest.
Yeah.
That actually sounds like a fan edit I can get behind, as opposed to the Kramer versus Kramer edit where they just deleted all the courtroom scenes.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a weird fan edit. Why would you do that?
Kramer versus Kramer. We want 2 Michael Richards? No.
And again, I just realized I had the share screen closed the whole time, so you had no idea what was going on.
No.
Damn it.
That's par for the course.
And
I don't know
welcome
what's
to
going
Night
on.
Owling, folks. Goji Shay's in the chat. He says, nice to hear this intro again. Are they eating crumpets while crumpeting?
You gotta know what a crumpet is to know cricket.
Yeah, whatever you say.
Tell me you didn't
Greekface.
pay full price for this bat.
You take that back.
That is such a Dirty McCruption scene. I know we've gone over in the past. We've labored over your own personal weirdo Raphael comparison troubles, but that is such a Dirty McCruption, like a day in the night life of Dirty McCruption. Is you go out to see critters, are entirely unimpressed by critters, then you get into a brawl in Central Park with a guy in a hockey mask, lose, and get knocked into a trash can. That's a Dirty McCruption night on the town for me.
Okay, so
How I envision it.
for context, recently me and Brayton have rediscovered the 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, or simply Ninja Turtles because I'm not going to use the acronym.
Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, according to was it Japan or Australia or who gave them that monster?
Britain and Australia, because apparently ninjas were considered satanic or something to marry White
See,
House.
I always thought that was the deal with, because I don't understand why they changed in America Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone to Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone until a few days ago I looked it up. I assumed it was something similar where people said, sorcerer, satanic, black magic. But I guess the thinking behind that change was just American publishers thought that kids wouldn't want to read a book called with the word philosopher in it, and sorcerer was just punchier.
Yeah, I always thought it was just because people were too stupid to know what the hell Philosopher's Stone is.
Well, kids are.
Yeah, well, also,
I mean,
their parents too. Don't forget it was adults that made that decision in the end, so.
It was adults who took him out and bought the books for him and raised a whole generation of stupid kids, of which I am one. But your generation of stupid kids had Ninja Turtles, and as did mine. I had the hand-me-downs of your generations of
You
fascination.
poor man. Because I'm not the biggest ninja. Like, I respect the Ninja Turtles, and I'll get to reasons why. But I'm not exactly a fan of the Ninja Turtles, although there's been some movies and television episodes here and there that have very much impressed me. Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was just a hoot. Of course, the 1990s movie holds up ridiculously well for something that was basically kind of low budget and low tier. And it's like, what is, even as a kid though, when the Ninja Turtle cartoon was on, it was the biggest thing on television. We'd watch it, but even then, it's like I kind of had in the back of my mind, no, this is unimpressive. This is not.
This is ridiculous. This is
Yeah.
a step too far. It's one that you have Ninja Turtles, but they're teenagers.
Exactly.
I hate teenagers.
And more to the point too.
Oh, here we go. We're back, folks.
Yeah, no,
More to the point of the night.
Anyways, to be fair, zippity zoo.
The small character moments. It's going to be one of those night outings.
Who wants the straw booze?
And not in a fun way.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, there's your famous catchphrase, wabba zabba dobble.
I'm a pickle. Raph, I'm a pickle.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I do have to take umbrella and I'll let you continue your point that you have more too. But I did not rediscover it so much as the movie is my nostalgia. The first 2 movies, the third one, even as a kid, I wasn't fond of because where's the Foot Clan? Where's Shredder? Nothing interesting is happening. But no, I grew up with the live action movies, or I didn't grow up with them. I watched them as a child about 700 times a piece. And I played with my brother's Ninja Turtle action figure sewer set and action figures themselves. That was, I guess, what you had for Power Rangers. I had the toys, and those two movies were my obsession, in which I watched, the 90s Ninja Turtle VHS tape 700 times. And I memorized every fucking line of dialogue from it, and I memorized every line of the Pizza Hut baseball ad that would play at the head of the VHS tape. And a baseball falls into my glove. I play right field. It's important, you know. You got to learn how to catch. You got to learn how to throw. That commercial. Don't you love when videos and DVDs and VHS tapes, they had the cornball tie-in commercials at the front?
I know. It's
Same thing with the Diet Coke Batman ad with Alfred drinking his Diet Coke saying, "We're all out of Diet Coke, so I'm sending a car with a man in it to beat the crap out of you and get me more Diet Coke. Alfie needs his carbonation."
Give it to me, Daddy.
Aha! Aha!
He's pretty fly
Anyway.
for a white British character actor.
No, I watched Ninja Turtles so much as a kid. It's been a thing that has been in my subconscious forever since then, and I just never returned to. In at least 12, maybe 15 years, I haven't seen the fucking movie. Until a few nights ago, when I was getting something for you, and I watched it, and was shocked to find how much of it I did recall. How many small moments I could recall from it, like Casey Jones breaking the porch swing, or just lines of dialogue of them like playing taps and saluting their moldy pizza after they come back to their little sewer hideout. Just so many things in it stuck out in my mind. But as a movie, I said this to you in private when we were talking about it. Like, it is such, the script itself, I mean, the movie you've got to like lay at its feet that it's a triumph in direction, because the script itself is such a cartoon. The script is so cornball, but it's the execution of the script in terms of direction, soundtrack, lighting, the suits themselves, the puppetry, my God, all of that is to such a high degree that it kind of overcomes a cartoon script. And kind of through like a weird alchemy, you know, you have all these dark visuals matched with a very kid-friendly story, and it somehow works out all right in the end.
Yeah, no, you can like, what is it? If you do something serious, if you do something with serious intent, regardless how ridiculous the thing is, the quality shows on screen. And thankfully, in addition to that, the script is actually pretty damn good too. As long
For
as
a cartoon, let's concede though, it is but it's a good cartoon.
Well, here's the thing I wanted to get out of the way. Even as a kid, I wasn't really much of a Ninja Turtles fan because, granted, I loved a lot of the more wackier, bizarre concepts, but the majority of the time the show was just, oh, Bebop and Rocksteady are doing a stupid caper, Ninja Turtles stop them, pizza time. It's so much so that a lot of like the interesting, bizarre animal characters you would find in Toy Line never showed up in the cartoon series, which literally pissed us off because I remember we watched like 143 episodes of this damn show, and it's like, when is the Indiana Jones duck analog supposed to show up? And he never did, other than a cameo that pissed off even further. And ironically, I know that when the movie came out, there was a kind of a mini backlash, mostly by the kid viewers, like, where's Bebop, where's Rocksteady, where's Krang? But in retrospect, it's probably the best version you could probably do with this kind of movie, especially considering that it was independently made and a little on the low budget, despite the presence of Hong Kong's Golden Harvest productions behind it, as well as Jim Henson's amazing creature work.
It was so low budget, and as I understand, a lot of the major studios did reject it. But it's amazing when you look at it, because I said this to you, it is kind of a muddy, visually it's kind of a muddy film in terms of the aesthetic, obviously, but also it's incredibly grainy, and it looks sort of punk rock, and counterculture and independent and all of that. And it comes from a guy who started in music videos and then went on to direct the fucking Coneheads and I think Electric Dreams. Steve Barron directed Electric Dreams, Coneheads, and Ninja Turtles, and other things. You know,
now think about it. Let's just do a double feature of Electric Dreams and Ninja Turtles, or Coneheads. I actually like Coneheads. I know it's a hard sell, but
More like boneheads. I like boneheads when the leader of the band isn't a groomer. Those are
Right.
the boneheads I like.
Oh, okay, that's a little reference to your fandom. So, yeah, no.
I don't have fandoms. I have other,
Burdens.
burdens and complaints. Yes, but no. It's amazing how mainstream it does. Like it all comes together and feeling like a really mainstream, big budget kind of film, or it doesn't feel out of place with any of the other kids focused action films of the day. And I really do feel like it's it came out in 1990, but it does feel in a lot of ways like the last cool summer family 80s action film. You can kind of you would kind of group it into the same territory that you would the Goonies or what other things define that era, the Goonies or Back to the Future or any of that stuff.
Yeah. No, there's got to be like some. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. So, well, here's the interesting thing. The movie is directly based on some of the very early Ninja Turtle comic books.
The Eastman comic books.
Yes, the Eastman comic books. And in fact, the whole scene where they, get their asses handed to them and they have to evacuate to April's farms is kind of a beloved element in Ninja Turtle lore. So much so that that CGI animated Nickelodeon show that I personally don't much care for, if not outright hate, because it's Nickelodeon. They worship idiots. They actually did a half season in the farmhouse, and that was some of their better episodes, where they would randomly meet some strange creatures that happen to live nearby. So
it's amazing. While the movie is such a New York City type of movie, and I have to say that's another thing. The depiction of New York is fucking like Escape from New York dystopian level grunge and hideous. I can't believe anybody who isn't nuclear or toxic waste infested does live there. But
hi, New York.
For it being such a New York, themed movie, it was filmed primarily in northern North Carolina, I think.
Oh.
And even the farmhouse itself was in a North Carolina location. So like all the sets that were built, and some of the stuff of her like coming out of City Hall and stuff, where Raphael is very inconspicuously in broad daylight in his trench coat. That was filmed in New York, like the trick shots like that and the opening, city establishing stuff. But everything else, all the sets built in North Carolina and on sound stages. But it's a great New York movie.
Oh yeah, no, they did a very good job hiding that. I even noticed it. But then again, good direction and probably just good cinematography and location shooting can save anything.
Yeah,
because there's so many
and great casting. We have to say that both the humans and like everybody in the movie is absolutely spot on. I don't
want to
think
get some names. So hold on.
Even Corey Feldman as Donatello doesn't slow. Donatello was always my favorite. He doesn't slow things down.
Just from the movies, or just Donatello in general?
No, I love Donatello pretty much in general. He's like the George Harrison of the Turtles. He's the quieter, smarter one who does machines.
Oh yeah,
and my favorite scene in the movie is the ninja kick the damn rabbit when he and Michelangelo are watching the Tortoise and the Hare cartoon. And Michelangelo, Mikey getting so worked up about it is funny, but next to him is Donatello just going watching.
Yeah, I do love the subtle comedy they give Donatello, because Donatello is usually portrayed as just the tech genius, it's like, what is it? One of the things, either he's the tech genius and that's just his deal, or granted, it's great to have a smart guy on the team, or he's the nerd that everyone puts a lot of misery upon. Again, another reason why I hated that CGI series from the early 2000s. But no, I think they did a really good job with Donatello being kind of like in a really good double act with Michelangelo and being kind of I don't want to
double
call
act with Casey Jones though too at the farmhouse when they're working on the car together and they're insulting each other by doing like the alphabet name. Okay, bonehead. Okay, chapped brain. What are we up to now? I think F. Okay, fart face.
Oh yeah. Again, the movie is filled. It is like the quintessential like little character moments go a long way, because the dialogue is very witty. There's a lot of like really good dialogue bits going on between the various characters. Like you said, the casting, while there's like no major big stars in it, it's really well casted. Judith Hoag, I hope I'm getting her name right.
That's the first April.
Yes, no, she brings a lot of heart to her character. I was never sold on Casey Jones until Elias Koteas played the character, and he really does a good job doing this kind of down-to-earth, violent vigilante.
Yeah, but also like a sort of a buffoon and a lovable bonehead in a kind of Bill Murray type of way as well that really meshes with the group.
Yeah.
But the turtles and the Tatsu and the Shredder and all the, I'm not so sold on some of the ancillary, because when I say cartoon, what I'm speaking of specifically are like the ancillary, the boss character and the mayor, I think, of New York, or the police, the head of the police.
Oh, yeah.
Who's very much out of the stereotypical, get her off my case, blah, 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 blah. They are screaming the era that they come from.
Mm-hmm.
But no, everybody else, all of the key players, the puppets especially, they all have their moments to shine. All are fantastic. Kevin Clash as Shredder or Splinter, absolutely wonderful, and a marvel of a puppet that is. And in terms of the effects, though, like everyone, it's a Jim Henson. We shouldn't be surprised and everything, but those have really held up over time. Not so much the lip movements and the mouth movements for me, because like when I watch those in HD, you can definitely tell the nature of them. The lips trying to match every syllable, though it is impressive. But I was really taken aback by how much like subtle emotion and emoting comes out of the eyes of the turtles.
Yeah.
Like they're like the wetness in their eyes. They seem like real eyes just stuck into these giant masks. And praise to the actors themselves and the stuntmen inside the suits, the body language that they do have, and with how they hang their heads, and they like whenever Mikey gets worked up and he's being complimented, he sort of like goes and straightens himself up. All of it is so good to where you and I were talking about how this is a concept that one would think in theory would be almost impossible to take seriously when adapted for a live action film. But after a while, you do kind of lose yourself in their mannerisms and are sold to them as just any other characters in the movie.
Oh yeah, I think it does help that I think that's one of the cool things about the Ninja Turtles themselves as characters, and it's one of the reasons why I respect the franchise. The fact that they are so offbeat in the sense that these are the huge, bizarre mutant creatures, yet they're like normal dudes you can probably hang out with. Something I think is done really well when the turtle, after Splinter is kidnapped, the turtles just come back to like April's. It's like, can we live with you?
Splinter.
I know, and it does help that they didn't get like overly cartoonish voices for the roles. It's like, they got like fairly normal sounding people, with maybe the exception of Splinter and Raphael. But even Raphael, it's like, that works for that design.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and after that, you could picture no other voice coming out of Raph than the very burly, thick New York Brooklynese voice that he has in the
Where
movie.
they come up with this stuff?
And of course, Kevin Clash is Elmo, so he's had his experience underneath the puppet. Elmo is Splinter. But in terms of something that I don't agree with in the Siskel and Ebert review, because they were really down on the movie, is that they said the turtles don't have distinct personalities. I can't think that's further from the truth, really, looking at it, because each of them, obviously Raph in particular, has the arc of the turtles, or is given the most attention in terms of his character, and what he does and how he feels in relation to the others, as a family unit. But I think they all perfectly stand out, and the voices themselves, they're not absolute cartoony, but they're distinct enough, and they give enough energy that it fits the visual of the turtles. Because if you look at like the Michael Bay turtles, which I don't look at, but I think the tendency now is to make them sound too ordinary, just to sound like too much real life infused teenagers. Then it becomes indistinct, and the only way to tell them apart is what they're carrying for weapons and what their bandana color is. But no, all of the actors vocally, physically inhabit those turtles within 1,000% of its ability.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like getting back to like the voice actors and the suit actors, there's like a lost art when it comes to having, like, this is the same thing they used to do all the time in older animation. They pick one really good animator to oversee the majority of a singular character, sometimes two if that character doesn't have enough screen time, paired up with a decent voice actor. Before we got into the age of like let's get a expensive celebrity so the parents will give a shit about who's on the poster. They would just pick like really good Broadway or character actors to fill those roles. You can see that with a lot of the Disney movies of old, before the late 90s or Toy Story came about. So yeah, no, it's cool that they got these like really good suit actors and these voice actors that complement each other in this really good double act that perfectly ends up on screen. There's also the argument that, yeah, getting back to just how wonderful the eyes were, I think back then they actually did use more glass-based eyes over today, where it's just almost everything is done with plastics. God, what is that thing where you put something in the computer and it prints it out?
3D printing.
3D printing, yeah.
I was just taken aback by how on every level, such bulky costumes in terms of the gears and motors that must be inside that head, how naturalistic and expressive they still were able to communicate little subtle movements. And my favorite thing one of my favorite moments of that in the movie is when, I told you this too, when at the farmhouse, when Casey Jones is giving April a little sensual massage, and Mikey and I think Donatello sneak in after a hard day of training, and Mikey's just like, just sort of shyly like walking through, and I hope I'm not intruding, that kind of look he gives them. And then he opens the cupboard and pulls out the turtle wax and goes, ha, and like that's a real creature that I'm watching.
Yeah.
Like, I totally suspend my disbelief with just these tiny little minor, very humanistic, not very animalistic, I guess, in the sense, but very expressive, subtle movements.
Yeah, well, it's also again, everything's like firing on all cylinders, because there's a good first, like you've mentioned, like we were talking like in private a couple of days ago, how steamy that scene is of just April and Casey Jones giving each other a back massage, and then they kind of back off a bit when the kids come to the room. And then it's adorable because like there's a like
walking in on your parents in a private moment.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not done overly sexual or overly awkward like a lot of modern comedies. And it's funny too, because there's a brief moment where it's obvious that the Donatello and Michelangelo are kind of sore after they're fighting. Again, testament to the actors and the suit and the suit effects. And you do get there's like a brief like dialogue thing where Casey Jones and April's like, you want a back rub? Do you want any kind of medicine for your muscles? No, I'm good. And then, of course, Michelangelo goes out of his way. It's like, I got turtle wax.
Yeah, but no, the chemistry of April and Casey Jones, I think, is very well handled as well. And, it's not they're sort of the very typical hard. They're negatives that are attracting. That very typical trope in movie romances doesn't become annoying or irritating at all. It feels very surprisingly natural. And April as a character, as we were saying too, is a very proactive and competent character in the movie, unlike your very typical 80s cartoon female character of the time. She's never a damsel really in the movie. Like she stands her ground against the Foot when they do show up in the subway. Like she's not going to take shit from them. She doesn't run away screaming. She screams in the sewer, which is one of my favorite scenes in the movie, where she's like, "Oh my god, a rat!" and then turns and sees oh my god, it gets worse.
I'm dead. No, I'm dreaming.
Why can't I ever dream of Harrison Ford?
Yeah, exactly. You know what's funny? Getting back to April and Casey Jones, they're like two teenagers who hate each other at first, have a good rile, a good fight. I hope that's the right word to use. And after that, they realize, now that we got out of our system, let's just be friends and maybe make out.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's so good. Even here's the thing about I want to talk about the villains very briefly. It's funny because the Shredder, technically the Shredder isn't that big of a deal. He always was kind of a petty, pathetic character, and that's why I kind of prefer the Shredder when he's not like when they try and make the Shredder too powerful and too serious and too scary, it almost never works with me. To be honest with you, the animated series with this kind of comical, I just want to beat up Splinter because I'm angry, that works a lot better as a character. And I've rarely seen like funny Shredders, with maybe the exception of the failed attempt to do Shredder in the first Michael Bay movie, simply because of that actor they almost had him play, almost got him to play. But I think to kind of piggyback what you were saying a little earlier, I think they did a good job with the direction and the pomp and circumstance behind the Shredder. That you actually
has one of the greatest villain entrances.
Oh yeah.
with someone to roll out the carpet and to take off his little cape. Or he doesn't take off his cape; he just like unfurls his little shoulder, very dark, very 90s, very edgy shoulder blades. No, I really like I like this interpretation of Shredder. I do understand what you're saying about it's funny when he's petty and a whiny crybaby, and when they kind of do that. Some of the comedy works with him, I think, in Secret of the Ooze when they think that what are their names?
Toka and Razor.
And Razor, when they think or are obsessed with the idea that Shredder is their mommy. But I don't know. As far as like a very powerful, very menacing version of the character goes, I think it's incredibly executed here in terms of the costume, which is incredibly effective. And another one of those things you wouldn't think would translate well is that giant bulky helmet, but how they film it with the light flaring off of it, and how you never really see his mouth beneath the mask, so it kind of has like that, in a very overt way, a very menacing Darth Vader type quality for the time. But also the voice itself is great, and not entirely sold on the maroon sequins like outfit that he has underneath the cape and everything, but it's all in the presence and the execution that I think it's really well executed, and for of the period, one of the great movie kid villains, I think, is that version of the Shredder.
Yeah, and they also kind of give him like a bit of like, I can't believe I'm going to say this.
Oh, the surrogate father role too, which also kind of mirrors Splinter, I think, is interesting from a characterization.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's almost Dickensian the way his character's set up, because he's a very competent, very deadly small-time criminal who's began a ring with little kids in it. It's like, who's that character in Oliver who convinces all the kids to thief for him? Finnegan?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
no, Fagin.
Fagin. Yeah, it's like the evil. It's like the scarier ninja version of Fagin from Oliver. So especially when it's like you get into basically the Pleasure Island sort of setup he has going on with the kids.
Whatever you want to do it.
And even Tatsu, his henchman, who I've come to appreciate in recent years. It's like a kid bump. The kid, yeah, exactly. A kid bumps into him, and then it's like, "Oh, don't worry, go play." Like, yeah, he can. It's like, yeah, it's a little half-hearted, but at least it's a well-run operation of these teenage ninjas, basically.
Yeah, I mentioned this to you as I think a common complaint with the Foot in this film is that what they do is boils down to petty pickpocketing and the occasional alley mugging and all of that. They're not entirely a well-run supervillain organization, but as you said, that's kind of plays into it, and the fact that you really do buy them at the end of the day as misfit teenagers. And I just think this the mirroring of the Splinter Turtles relationship with Shredder and the clan themselves as him being their father, and sort of the misfit youth angle of everything. I think that's a sharp contrast between the good guys and the bad guys. And like it kind of has I don't know if this comes from the comics or the cartoon, or if this has always been the case, that the whole Shredder / Oroku Saki was the one who killed Splinter. Because in the cartoon, isn't Splinter, he's a human who gets turned into a rat.
Yeah.
And in the movie, they kind of do the Jack Napier type of thing where we tie it together that Splinter, his master, was killed by Shredder, and that began the rivalry.
Yeah, traditionally in the vast majority of iterations of Ninja Turtles, Splinter was a human being who was forced to come to America because of the actions of the Shredder of Oroku Rochi. I'm saying that name wrong, I know.
Oroku Saki.
Oroku Saki, yes. And it was his contact with like the local vermin of New York that turned him to a rat as opposed to a turtle. Because the thing about mutagen is the last creature you've touched, you end up mutating from. So I don't know why with that said, I don't know how the hell. Where was the snake in Arkham Asylum when the Joker got mutated? But whatever.
I don't know. But anyway, in terms of the character, again, I do find that if you want to, if you want to create a serious, threatening villain for a kids' film, the execution of it for Shredder in this movie, I think, is very well done. And when you get to the sequel, he's still enjoyable. It's a different, slighter, skinnier actor playing him, so it's naturally less menacing. And the purple doesn't work as well, I think, with the live action as well as the sequins maroon one does. And also it's a different director, and he's sort of filmed more in flat lighting in Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah.
But as a character too, I think he's turned a lot more into, a one-dimensional, silly type of character in the sequel that sort of weakens him. And the unnecessary super shredder at the end of Secret of the Ooze. I have not gone back to Secret of the Ooze. I'm sure it will not hold up as well as the first one, but that's for another day. The character, though, I think is menacing, and the whole backstory of killing Splinter's master and then him getting his face scarred, it does create a thematic reason in the movie itself for them to have the final confrontation on top of the roof, which I always thought was a very brutal. That's one of the vicious, like Disney level. In Disney, the villain deaths, they always have to fall from something. That's kind of one of the more vicious versions of that. He falls from the roof, then gets crushed to death by the garbage truck itself. That has always stuck with me.
Yeah, and it's funny
what
too.
A way to go.
Yeah, the movie isn't really that violent when you really get down to it, especially compared to the more mainstream hits of the day, like the 89 Batman. But it is ironic that because the movie kind of ends on that note, it annoyed enough parents that they were honest complaints, not counting stupid stuff like British people terrified of Asian people in the 80s. It is a thing. So they had Japanophobia as bad as Reagan did. With that
Japanophobia, I've never even looked at another guy. That's another joke with Casey Jones's claustrophobia that I only pick up on all these years later now.
Right, exactly. And his the kind of adorably pathetic scene where he tries to sleep in the car.
Yeah, but that brings to the question, doesn't he have an apartment that he can sleep in that wasn't burnt down by a ninja clan? Can he just go home?
Maybe he just wants to stick with his friends just in case things get bad or something. But yeah,
and there's a reason he follows Danny and everything. There's a reason for it to happen. I'm just saying, go home. You don't have to be here.
Yeah, exactly. So although there is that adorable scene, it's like, I can't believe you guys live in this penthouse. All right, let's get in the sewer.
Oh, you coming, dude?
Yeah. But no, the situation with the second movie, which I do want to revisit now that you got me on this turtle kick, and thank you for supplying the file too. Secret of the Ooze was deliberately made to be a little more family friendly and to also kind of get the kids more excited to actually put some mutant villains in there. So it's kind of a shame too, because a lot of that edginess from the first movie is lost. But then I remember it's not that bad. For a lesser sequel, it's not that bad of a movie. It has David freaking Warner in it, so that alone is worth the price of admission. I like him. I know everyone else hates him because, British people, they scare Americans.
Americans afraid of British people.
Yeah,
it happened.
Yeah, and British people are afraid of Japanese people, and Japanese people are afraid of Japanese people. Villagers, Japanese villagers.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts, though.
Yeah.
Okay, what's a weaker sequel in your mind? Ghostbusters 2 or Secret of the Ooze?
I think maybe Ghostbusters 2, because with Secret of the Ooze, they dumb down things immensely to be more family friendly, but they still try to be ambitious in their own right. Again, introducing mutant villains, actually having the movie move at a good pace. David Warner. Whereas David Warner, it will instantly give any movie a single star, with maybe the exception of that unicorn film he did.
I do forget the recast April actress's name, but she's not as good.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't bring back the original actress too. She was great. So, and that's the thing about April. I wanted to do say she is usually kind of a damsel in distress. In recent years, she's even becomes kind of a love interest for some of the turtles.
Yeah.
Which I have mixed feelings towards. It didn't work with Donatello. It's kind of adorable with Leonardo, but
it works fine in the movie itself because they're not ever coming on to her or anything. Like you have the moment where they're watching April saying, "Oh, she's great. I think she's a babe," but it just comes off as boyish teenage.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, it's
good-natured stuff.
Yeah, it's like becoming friends with your babysitter. You can have a little bit of a crush, but no, for the most part, it's just a really friendly relationship. And I think April works best when she is sort of like the ambassador to the real world, or the rest of the world, I should say, for these for the turtles and Splinter, who've been basically living underground. But yeah, no, the sequel had. I think the Secret of the Ooze is a much stronger sequel because, like, even though when I've come to enjoy Ghostbusters 2, it takes way too long for them to get into action again. In fact, I do agree with some people that the courtroom scene should have been the opening of the sequel. It would have been a stronger movie. But it does feel like they're just repeating a lot of the same beats because they wanted to play it safe. Whereas Secret of the Ooze, they're playing it safe, but they're trying new things out at the same time. So
Yeah.
so
They
yeah,
really do jump the shark though with the third Turtles in Time.
I don't think they really jumped the shark more so than it's just yeah. This is undercooked. It should have been
It's
better.
such a step down though, and like, because you can say, okay, so here's how I would like look at if I'm comparing one sequel to another: is which one captures the best elements of the film it's a sequel to. I think Secret of the Ooze feels more in the same universe and ballpark of the first movie, even though I don't like it as much than Ghostbusters 2 does to the original Ghostbusters. In the same way that I would say, like Beetlejuice. I know you still haven't seen that yet, but as far as a legacy sequel goes, I always say like things would obviously have to be turned around for the plot itself, but in terms of the spirit of the movie and how it's executed, it feels far more closer to the original movie than your typical legacy sequel does. This Beetlejuice feels like a film that could have come out a few years later after the original one and been like, yeah, there were two pretty good Beetlejuice movies back in the day. Like, it doesn't hurt the original. Ghostbusters 2, as I understand it, does some stuff that annoys you personally that does sort of hurt the original,
Yeah, like the
mind wipe.
Yeah, the mind wipe that nobody remembers the ghosts. Like okay, this is similar to Son of Kong. The idea that everyone would sue and blame the Ghostbusters for the actions of interdimensional monsters is generally funny and brilliant. The idea that the vast majority of New York just kind of suddenly had their minds wiped and don't believe in the existence of the creatures, that's more annoying to me. It's both insulting to what happened in universe, but more so it's insulting to the audience. It's like the second Transformer movies where they literally blow up an entire city of China, but the American government is apparently so good at covering it up. It's like, oh yeah, there was no Chinese people who died or remembered anything that happened. It's that
Because
level.
ghosts are afraid of Chinese people.
I'm talking about robots and Transformers too, but sure, we can throw that in. Oh yeah, Chinese people are afraid of ghosts. British people are afraid of the Japanese. The Japanese are afraid of villagers, country pumpkins. Americans are afraid of the British. That's why the only fictional British they accept are like ooh, we drink tea and crumpets.
And turtles notoriously afraid of well-prepared pizza. That's the thing I couldn't get behind ever with the turtles, is all the crap they stuck on their pizza. I mean, pizza's fine, but when you put all that junk on it, oh my god.
Oh yeah, that's just a conceit of the cartoon, because the cartoon, like I said, the cartoon was meant to be more comical and silly, and to be honest, yeah, I've tried anchovy pizzas, but then when you start putting stuff but I don't know. You're right. Some of that stuff was stupid.
I hate the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, the whole
based on
franchise
their
is
pizza.
flawed.
It crumbles under the conceit of ill-prepared pizzas.
Yeah, it's funny too because you know what the creative intent of the Ninja Turtles were originally.
For the lols. What?
Basically, you're not far off because they were having the creators of Ninja Turtles were having a hard time trying to get a comic book property off the ground. More grittier, scarier stuff was more popular at the time. So Ninja Turtles was basically meant as a one-shot spoof of Daredevil.
Daredevil. I know the whole Daredevil connection. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was basically supposed to be making fun of the stuff that the Dark Knight Returns or the Daredevil, the stuff that Frank Miller was making money hand over foot for.
Well, to compare it to another thing, it's like if you could say, I feel like in so many ways the Ninja Turtles movies, as flawed as a film that as it is, and like I said to you also in private, we're speaking all this praise about it, but if I didn't have the nostalgia of watching it 700 times when I was a kid, and if I just came to it completely fresh and new, I think I would have a lot more problems with the 90s movie. I don't think it's a perfect movie, but I do think it's a perfect adaptation of the source material that it's working with. Yeah. I think that if they hit a similar note with a Batman movie, I feel like the Tim Burton movie, the films kind of come close in how they portrayed the universe and Gotham and everything. But if the Ninja Turtles film, the live action movie, is 2 steps removed from the cartoon, I wish that there could come along a Batman film that is in equal amounts, the same amount of steps removed from the animated series. Because I feel like if you could, the live action film does enough stuff of a blend, of like a melding and a blending of the cartoon and the comic into a really good perfect stew to give you a live action one and done movie. I wish something would happen with Batman in that same direction of like, you take the good elements of the animated series show mixed with, you know, the darker, broodier comics that everybody likes, and then produce something of the same quality. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, I would like to see a mix of the sublime and silliness with Batman. And I know there were plans to do a Batman Brave and the Bold movie by the same people who did the Superman film with Corn Sweat. That's a terrible name, poor man. But he does come from Kansas.
Why couldn't they find another guy named Reeves or Reeve or with enough of those letters in the name?
Yeah,
you know?
Steve Reeves still alive. We can get him in the suit. Power walks away. Come back here. We don't care if you're old. But yeah, no, it would be really cool to see like what the Batman animated series did, but still add a little bit of the grittiness and realism of not the comic books, but you know, like whatever the hell Matt
just
Reeves
of
is
the
doing.
universe of Batman. You know, because I feel like that's my complaint with the Matt Reeves Batman movie is that I much prefer his vision of Gotham to Christopher Nolan's, because it is a step in the imaginative direction. Like, it's leaps and bounds more in the direction I would want. It's just the mood of that movie is so fucking dour that's like, oh man, we're taking good leaps here, but we have to bring everything down on what they do with the Riddler, where they take 2 steps back with that character, and he comes straight out of a Nolan version of Edward Nygma, or what do they call him in the movie? Edward Nashton or something?
Something like that. Yeah,
character's name. But anyway, this is not a Batman conversation. Ninja Turtles. One thing we haven't touched on too is the it's not necessarily a uber violent movie, but some of the action sequences in it, the big set pieces, like the battle in April's apartment, is a beauty to behold in terms of just chaotic fighting on every available surface, and the fire when the flames start coming up. It is an incredible action film.
Oh yeah, and the music, and it's like a roller coaster ride of tone and mood too, but it actually works. Like, it goes from comical, it goes from serious. When the fire begins, the music suddenly takes a turn to like do 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 do.
Yeah, and you have the good like underscoring out of April's boss, like calling her on the answering machine dangling from the roof as well when the music is going.
Yeah,
and the flames are rising.
And Casey Jones the only one to hear it, and he's like, "Oh, that's not good. Oh wait, we're on fire."
No, I love how it's punctuated though with "sorry to drop this on you like this," and the answering machine falls on a foot soldier's head. It's perfectly punctuating the joke.
Oh yeah, and it's like even the build up too. It's like on the roof, Raphael is slowly being stalked and attacked by all these ninjas, and then down below, April's just having this beautiful little moment with the 3 other turtles. Just, you know, this is my dad's antique shop.
Thanks for everything, you know. And then I'm sure Raph will drop in any minute now, and then.
Oh yeah, well, it's like there's also that beautiful little bit of dialogue where it's like she says it's kind of silly to keep your late dad's antique shop around, and then no, it isn't. Yeah, it's like, but yeah, I love, but also I love that hilarious bit where Raphael's like, "Is that the best you can do?" And more ninjas show up. It's like, good answer.
That's better. That's a good answer. Good answer.
So yeah, no, it's a very witty movie. It's very well done. I do agree with you. If you didn't love the Turtles or grew up with it, I think we would have a much different opinion of the film. Yeah. It's like, I know there's like reverse nostalgia where there's a movie you don't give a shit about when you were a kid, but then you rediscover it as an adult and it actually holds up surprisingly well. I hate to repeat this movie again, but Blackbeard's Ghost kind of fits in that category for me. When I was a kid, I thought it was the most boring thing in the world. And then I revisited thanks to my brother's recommendation. It's like, oh wow, this is actually the best Scooby-Doo movie that was never made.
Yeah, coming back to this movie, it's one of those things where the flaws are with now my more developed frontal lobe are very, very apparent. And like I said, it is such a cartoon in so many bases. But it's not one of those things where I look back on an old favorite and embarrassed embarrassed in any way for having loved it as a kid. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things where the flaws are very much there, but the strengths of the movie are so comforting to my adult eyes that, you know, any of my quibbles with it, you know, fall immediately by the wayside to the comfort that the movie is providing me because of all the things it's doing well.
Yeah, yeah, and it's a shame too, because compared to like a lot of the even worse superhero movies that would come, especially today, where it's so God, flippant and so corporatized. It's like, yeah, it's like we really had something with this film. So, but no, I am interested in doing.
And as we touched on the
Yeah.
soundtrack, the score is absolutely tremendous. I don't remember the guy's name who did the score, but it's absolutely terrific. All the themes he gives for the Turtles and Shredder and the Foot Clan, and just like the little incidental. Whenever they do the ninja vanish, whenever they go away, there's the little do 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 do.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
All that stuff has stuck with me all these years later.
Yes, the composer is a man named John DePrez. And yeah, he's done music for A Fish Called Wanda, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1, 2, 3. Oh, he even did the non Weird Al music for UHF. So
okay.
so yeah, no.
I will say that all the music is good except for, I mentioned this to you as well, the end rap song. I'm not a huge fan of. It's a little too on the nose with some of the lyrics. The only part of it I like is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Power. Like, that is fun, but everything that guy's rapping about, that's no good.
Yeah, exactly. So, he did the score for the Crimson Permanent Insurance and Meaning of Life. So,
The Crimson Permanent Insurance, that was when you opened up a insurance claim store at a strip mall, right?
yeah, exactly.
No!
And it was a bad idea because I did it for Supernatural being, so it's like, Frankenstein comes in with his wife looking for insurance, and it's like everyone's like running like crazy and shooting inside my store.
You want health insurance? I hate to break this to you, but you're
Dead!
dead.
I'm not dead, I'm undead.
And then Frankenstein tears you apart.
Oh yeah, exactly. Oh, that's my arm! He threw my arm over there! Okay, but yeah, that's the Ninja Turtle part of the conversation. And yeah, I'm kind of ashamed I didn't see it on the big screen because Gardena Cinema played it recently. But no, it was great to revisit the movie because, yeah, I was surprised when it's like I was asking you about getting a file for it just so I could watch on my own. And then you downloaded it, you watched it. It's like it was a situation where
I watched it to make sure everything was running right, and then I got enveloped in it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. You just started watching it all of a sudden, and you're just like, Raph, this is actually a pretty good movie. Let me tell you why. And then it's
I
like
like that too. This is another minor thing too. When the movie first starts, they're hiding the turtles in shadow in a really effective way with them peeking out from the sewer grate. But it's one of those things where it's going to be like, okay, this is going to be a slow build up to the turtles. No, immediately after that, they have the great introduction of them in the sewer when they all come and jump out from around the corner, and then for the rest of the movie, you see them. They're not hidden anymore after that.
Yeah, whereas most other movies would spend way too much time setting them up. So the movie is, like I said, it's firing all cylinders. It's actually extremely well made. It may not be the best turtle movie, but I think it probably is.
What's better than that?
I don't know. Like, I would like to revisit Secret of the Ooze, but more so, I know it might not work as a movie, but I would kind of like to get your opinion on Mutant Mayhem. Because I do think it's one of the stronger animated movies. Like, there's nothing wrong with TMNT, but yeah, but no, that was a little uneven, I have to say, even though it leaned more towards good than bad.
Okay. Well, and I think I mentioned in the past too, I also saw TMNT in theaters as a kid, but yeah, I think that going back and seeing this movie, I think it pretty much solidifies that Ninja Turtles, or this version of them rather, is kind of everything that in a perfect world, the Power Rangers would be for me. Though I openly, as you know, loathe the Power Rangers, and it falls like the Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie falls so desperately short of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies. Like, if you're going to compare two hallmarks of that era's, kids and their childhood nostalgia, Ninja Turtles versus Power Rangers, which motion picture debut is better? It's pretty apparent. Yeah.
No, it's like I'll still defend the Power Ranger movie for actually being the best version of Power Rangers in that particular era. And it's still a very gorgeously visual and effects filled film. But no, I think, yes, if we had to pick one to save into the time machine, the time capsule, I should say, would definitely be the 90s Ninja Turtle film. Because that has more, like, look, there was a time where we took like here's the thing about the Ninja Turtles. I want to say why I don't know who said it. I think it may have been my brother Miguel. It may have been a documentary I saw on YouTube, but somebody perfectly said that despite the respective qualities of all the superhero action kid cartoons that were existed throughout the 80s, Ninja Turtles, as ridiculous and as half-baked as it was, literally and figuratively, it kind of broke the mold by showing, oh yeah, you can have more silly fun, you can have more imaginative weirdness with these superhero characters, which would later kind of open the floodgates for some of the more offbeat characters you see in Batman animated series, the Tick, Freakazoid to an example. So yeah, it kind of allowed the things to be a lot less serious and a lot less toyetic, even knowing, yeah, its Ninja Turtles were pretty toyetic and at times even embarrassingly so. The live concerts, for example.
Well, let's back this up a little bit. By you saying figuratively and literally half-baked, are you implying that the Ninja Turtles, being teenagers, also wake and bake, and that's why they love pizza so much?
Mikey probably when he gets older, that's for sure.
He's a party dude.
Yeah, I got it. Oh, that's one thing. Michelangelo's a thin line between endearing and annoying, and I think they did just a beautiful job making him just so adorable in this one.
Yeah.
Especially
and that voice actor, he does the convention circuit still, and I think he was the voice of the green E.T. alien and the Opus angry video game nerd, the motion picture.
Of course they would.
But he's one of those actors who I do think, like, if they ever do another Ninja, just bring him back. Mm-hmm. He's still in the voice acting racket. He can still do the voice.
Oh yeah,
he's perfect for it. You know, he should have been like the Matthew Lillard or the Casey Kasem in terms of like legacy voices for Shaggy. Speaking of high cartoon characters, he should have been that, I think, for Michelangelo. And the same thing with the guy throughout the movies. I think they do change up like Donatello and Leonardo's voices, but they do keep Mikey and Raphael's consistent through all three films. And I think those two are the most definitive and strongest voices, and they have them back, have them do more things.
Yeah. So, but no, getting back to what you said, yeah, I can imagine Ninja Turtles doing the ganja every once in a while.
Okay.
Maybe even at Master Splinter when nobody's looking. But no, what I mean by half-baked, literally and figuratively, like it's obvious that some, like, the cartoon series itself would come up with these amazingly bizarre ideas that they never do anything with, like the whole Dimension X and the army of Rockmen waiting to invade the Earth on Krag's command, and they don't do anything with that. And it like I said, the majority of the show was like, oh yeah, Splinter's robbing a bank. That's it. Not Splinter. Shredder is robbing a bank.
I need more money for Michelangelo's stupid habits.
Sure you do.
Cowabunga! I made a funny.
It'd be a very different scene with when they're speaking to or they're listening to the spirit of Splinter and meditating, if that was just a giant blunt rotation circle and we're like, whoa, did you just hear Dad? I think that's one of the things too when I say it's such a cartoon is like some of the stuff with the family element in terms of both the Foot and the Turtles and Splinter. They're very on the nose, verging on being corny, but it's again all a matter of execution of the corny script that it really is affecting, you know, and with the music and the acting, it all works for you.
Yeah.
But no, needless to say, we like the movie. Enough turtle talk, for God's sake.
Oh, well, it's a sad thing. I was going to say, it's been confirmed Gardena Cinema is doing Gamera Guardian of the Universe. It's not the best date, we know, but we're going to take it anyways because it's a Friday night, and Friday night is usually the best nights. We're doing it on September 11th, Friday night.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. We're doing Gamera Guardian Universe at Gardena
Be a real
Cinema.
disaster.
Yeah, we're probably. I know. Hopefully, we don't offend too many people, but we
committing your own form of small-scale terrorism by screening a Gamera film.
I know. So, some of the more diehard Godzilla people are kind of sad that we're not doing a Godzilla movie. But here's the thing: Gamera is so easy to get. I think Guardian Universe is great. Judy is excited because she really wants to do Gamera. And she even wants to play. She
doesn't know any better.
Yeah. Well, she's now a fan of Johnny Sacco. She's wondering why we're not doing the second episode of Johnny Sacco when I want to just jump to number 3. So.
Hey, if a group of Godzilla fans took to a life of terrorism, would you call them Go Jihadists? Pun button. Where's the damn pun button?
Ow, my fingers!
Missed that thing.
Okay, this is the new pun button. There we go. That's louder. Yeah, we're just going to use this thing as opposed to like pun machine failing. So, let's read some comments. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being patient with us. I'll try to read comments in between everything. Okay, so Goji Shea says there is a Hunt for Golem movie that's supposed to be coming in a year or so. That's interesting news about Tintin, though. Yeah, I don't give a shit about the Hunt of Golem, but I do agree. Yeah, the Tintin thing might be interesting.
Well, we were talking before the show about the Rango, and I was mentioning to you that Gore Verbinski is kind of, in my mind, more suited as an animation director in terms of, as opposed to live action films.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Jackson, at a certain point, he did. Was it him or Spielberg, or was it co-directed The Adventures of Tintin?
I think if it was, I think it was co-directed. If anything, I think either Spielberg directed the movie, but Peter Jackson and his friends, all like a lot of British friends, I think they did a real. It was a group effort. I think it's the best way to describe that. So
well, and my point being though, like I have some issues with Peter Jackson as a filmmaker in terms of just the breadth and the length of his films, but I wouldn't mind seeing him dabble in animation more at this stage of his life, and him and his Weta friends and all of them can really dig their heels in, I think, in an animated movie, provided it's not a creepy. That's one thing I didn't like so much about Tintin, though. It was kind of in the model of the creepy Zemeckis style animation, where it's. I watched that and I think, on one hand, either do this fully fledged, 3D or 2D animation, or make it a live action film. I would like the movie even more if it were one of those two extremes.
Yeah, I didn't mind the character designs that much because they were stylish enough that you could sort of kind of forgive them, despite there is still a little bit of an uncanny valleyness to it, but it's not as bad as some of the really unappealing and at times like disgustingly realistic designs you find in the Zemeckis movie. Like the Tintin films, they actually allowed the characters to have large expressive eyes, however off-putting they may be, as opposed to the bizarre beady little wooden dark eyes that every character in the Christmas Carol movie has. But no, I wouldn't mind seeing another Tintin movie again, because I did generally enjoy the one Spielberg and Peter Jackson did.
Yeah.
And but get poor Peter Jackson away from Lord of the Rings. It's like
get him away from that fucking Hobbit land that he's been laboring in limbo for the past 25 years since the original movie. At this point, when did Fellowship of the Ring come out? That was like 2001, 2002.
Yeah, it was that early too. Yeah, I think 2000 actually. 2000 was when the first Lord of the Rings movie happened. Because I know Twin Towers came out in 2001, and of course we all know what happened there.
2000 and 2001 also, or the Twin Towers also came down in 2001. Funny how that works out.
Yeah, I blame Gamera. So, okay, hold on. Let me save this ball.
Gamera.
Screwing up.
Don't attempt to enter the cockpit. Don't attempt to enter the cockpit. Don't attempt to enter the cockpit.
Oh my God! It's like
I didn't write the song.
I know you sang it. All right, let me go ahead and read some more comments here. I had the cassette tape that played the Turtle Power rap song from the 1990s movie. Says Goji Shea. I'll see how long I'll be able to savor this one. Says Random G Fan. Oh yeah.
Thanks.
Goji Shea says I like cone heads! ! Have you guys seen the Batman and Ninja Turtles crossover movies?
Don't let's do this again. Good God.
I'm gonna stream that on my Twitch channel eventually because I actually think it's one of the better animated movies.
Yeah, I think my comic dub of it is good.
Yeah, is it available online? Can we share it?
Yes, on YouTube.
Okay, if you can get me the link, I'm gonna put it in the description.
Just look up Batman Ninja Turtles comic dub. It's the one with the highest views. I did that like 2 or 3 years before the movie came out. I played Batman.
Okay, Okay, I'll do that later. I'm not going to multitask right now. I'm already doing Clown Ball.
What about the other character you were doing?
I'll do the other character who will remain nameless in a moment. Okay. Leonardo sword fighting the penguin, enough said, says Random G Fan. And then Goji Shea says the original movie borrows from the original comic run of Splinter being a normal rat that mutated into being humanoid. Okay.
What do you think of those stop motion flashbacks, by the way?
With the little pizza. Yeah. I thought those were puppets.
Radical.
Yeah. No.
Maybe they are puppets. They look a little stop motion. Well, when they're walking around and stuff, they're stop motion. At least.
Oh yeah. No, I don't mind that at all. I think it's kind of nice that you have a very not too elaborate flashback to what these things were like little kids. Yeah. Although it is funny that Splinter does do the classic comic book dialogue of it's like suddenly they got more intelligent and started speaking.
Yeah.
It's like there's this Marvel comic book short story called The Scarecrow Walks, which is one of those giant monster stories from Marvel. It's basically a scarecrow gets hit by a atomic bomb and mutates into a giant scarecrow. But it's funny because it's like when the creature finally gains sentient, it's like, I can comprehend, I can think, I can speak. So yeah, it's like that weird dialogue that could never fly in the movies, but you wish it did, or at least somebody had the balls to do it. So.
But back to my point really quickly about directors who I think would be suited for the other mediums. Jackson, I'd like to see do more animation. I'd love to see, in terms of stop motion, you can count that. Both Wes Anderson and Guillermo del Toro effectively transitioned for a movie or two to that medium and did fabulously. But in terms of animation people, I'd love to see. I think it'd be interesting to see what a Genndy Tartakovsky or a Miyazaki film would be in live action. Maybe less so Miyazaki because he's, that's what he does is animation. But
yeah,
I wonder what a Tartakovsky live action project would be like.
Probably. It's I know there's certain movies out there that are considered animation live action hybrids, family movies with a lot of CGI characters in it.
Attack of the Super Monsters.
No, I'm being realistic here. Stop mentioning that movie. Why are you so obsessed with it? You're so
It's
bizarre.
a hybrid. It's a hybrid.
Yeah. Okay, I guess you're kind of right there. But no, I was thinking more damn it. I'm trying to think of a better example, but unfortunately the only thing that comes to mind is some of those Smurfman Chipmunk movies. So,
oh my god. The worst possible examples you could ever get.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of actual
Who
good
Framed
versions
Roger
of
Rabbit?
Yeah, maybe. No, that was more gimmicky than what's considered the current. Oh, Sheep Detectives is a much good example of a live action animation hybrid movie.
Okay.
Yeah. That's because it's like, no offense in the Who Frames Roger Rabbit. That's more. It's a very beautifully completed gimmick, but it's ultimately a gimmick at the end. No, I'm honestly thinking of a movie where you have fully animated characters interacting with live action characters on an equal basis, and I think Sheep Detectives is probably the best example of that in recent memory. But with that said, I think Genndy Tartakovsky would be really good if he could do something similar to that. I know currently he's trying to get his Black Knight movie off the ground. It's a fully animated movie, but it's supposed to be R-rated, which I think is a bad idea. Just make it PG-13 and see how far you can go with it. Because no offense, Genndy, we love you, but it's like when you try to, just because you had success with Primal, which is a relatively good show, I don't think that works in the mainstream when you go full-on mature. Just look at the...
sock it to him, rat.
That's
Sick
right.
Burn.
I'm calling you out, Genndy.
You're cooking Genndy.
And then it cuts to you and me and our random henchman putting Genndy in front of an oversized comical microwavable oven. Trying to escape Genndy, huh?
I also wonder, because my mind also goes to what would an Aardman live action film look like. But as we've mentioned in the past, Sheep Detectives pretty much is what that would look like.
Oh yeah, no, Sheep Detectives was really good, and that was one of our best streams. I may end up rerunning that one soon. So,
Okay.
Yeah, on Tuesday, me, Win, and Lydia are going to be doing Killer Clowns from Outer Space. So,
again.
Yeah. Why not? It's okay to revisit movies with different people. If not, I was going to revisit some movies when I do my art streams.
What do you mean different people? That's the same people, but with Win.
Yeah, Win's never seen it. Lydia likes the movie all the time. I don't know if we're going to get... No, Mark. We're going to try to get Mark, but Mark's too busy with Comic-Con coming up, so... I'll be there. Yay.
At Comic-Con?
No, at the Killer Clowns thing. I wouldn't be caught dead at Comic-Con.
Oh.
So, it's like I have the opportunity to go there, but my brothers abused it, so F them. So.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's like they went under my name, and it's like, come on, guys. At least give me the option to go there when you guys don't go, so.
Come on, guys.
I don't know, Comic-Con. Yeah, but then again, it's like Comic-Con is like just, unless you have a hotel room right there by the convention, what's the point? So, I was thinking of doing the Godzilla Fest in San Francisco, but yeah, that's something you don't do on the fly, so I ain't going to do that either. So, oh, you wanted to...
So the moral or the moral of the rap story is I ain't doing nothing. Except killer clowns from outer space yet again.
Yeah, and Gamera. Unfortunately, I couldn't do the Killer Clowns from Outer Space rock concert at Gardena this year either, so I had to work that day. Oh well.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't get to see my friends, the radioactive chicken heads, on screen. I mean, on stage. So
didn't get to throw your panties this time.
I don't have panties. I have pantaloons, and those are hard to get off.
They wouldn't have to be your own.
I'm not going to rip pantaloons off my friend Pantaloon Pete.
Okay.
It's like he's literally born into them. If I ripped him off, he'd be dead. He'd be like, "Why, Ruff? Why would you do this to me, Pantaloon Pete? Die, Pantaloon Pete."
What have you done, Ruff? Why have you raided my panty drawer?
I jump out the window. You'll never see me again. I just land in the moat. Get eaten by crocodiles.
A happy ending.
Yes. Oh, and then Casey just cut stock footage of Casey Jones. Whoops.
As he lowers the drawbridge on top of your head as you try to make
exactly.
your escape.
So, okay, let's read more comments. After all, we're nothing without the people in the show, contrary to popular belief, Brayton. I remember that was a pretty fun live-action Ninja Turtles show that ran for a while in the 90s, though it kind of sucked. I thought I was a kid when it was airing. Oh, yeah, that's right. The live-action series that the Power Ranger people did in the 2000s. They did a crossover between Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles once.
Blech.
Yeah, not counting the comic book ones. Okay. I'm going to skip some of these. Hold on. Random G.
We're nothing without our viewers.
2 minutes later, I'm going to skip all these. So there's a lot going on. This is what happens when I don't keep on top of the comments. I would like to see Gendy Tartakovsky's take on Rodan with a similar style to the original and his canceled Superman project. I didn't know Gendy did a Superman movie. Or was going to do one.
Or a Rodan movie. I think you mean Rodin, right?
Yeah. Oh.
Ronin.
Yeah, well, now that you mention it, they do mention that Tarkovsky is working on an animated Conan the Barbarian project.
Oh.
So I don't know. As long as it's because as long as it's like really awesome, more awesome action adventure than just pure violence for the sake of violence. Because he already did that with Primal, so you got to like maybe go back to the original books. Because the original Conan the Barbarian books were brutal, but they still had a sense of adventure. So it was just like swashbuckling fantasy just with extra monsters and blood in it. So, and I would kind of like to see that happen, but we'll see what happens. So, as long as
would you like to see a crossover of the atomic chicken heads with the or the other guys you like? So
Aquabats.
Aquabats, that's it, yeah.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? I never heard their voices sent. Like, I don't know if they secretly hate each other or that's a crossover that will eventually happen. And I love the fact that you have somebody's beloved grandparent. You refer to the radioactive chicken heads as the atomic chicken heads.
They're atomic age.
Yeah,
chicken heads, in my mind.
You like those mighty morphine battle rangers? What are they called?
Yeah. Mighty Morphine. That's good. That's
good. No, I don't know how they would react. I mean, interact with one another. So,
like oil and water, like the Bee Gees and ABBA.
Oh, have the Bee Gees and the ABBA ever met?
No, but imagine if they did. Wow.
They'd just be beating the shit out of each other on stage.
Was it you who I was having that conversation about the two different eras of the Bee Gees?
Yes, yeah, you were talking about it. It's interesting. You want to repeat it again for the show, for our ravid ABBA Bee Gee fans in the audience.
Oh no, I don't know how Raph and I got spun off on the conversation, but we were talking about music, and I have mentioned in the past that I like the Beatles, but I much prefer them towards their two major eras where they were sort of verging, and the two major eras that really occurred over the course of 10 years when they started verging into the more experimenting with psychedelics and stuff. And I'm more of a Strawberry Fields guy and a Day in the Life guy than I am a I Want to Hold Your Hand and Yesterday type of fellow. But I think you can separate them in two different eras. A similar thing, but in reverse with the Bee Gees and me, is the Bee Gees have two major eras. Their first era, like in the 60s, was the sort of more British invasion Baroque pop. You know what Baroque means in terms of music, where it's more like
No.
they're power pop ballads, but with orchestral type of arrangements and a melancholy type of tone.
Oh, Hermits.
So like with Baroque music, you'd have like the band Procol Harum, who did like Whiter Shade of Pale.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Baroque pop ballad song. So the Bee Gees had a lot of those.
That sounds, no offense, but that sounds, yeah, I think the Peddlers is kind of like in that same vein.
Okay. Why are you offending me by mentioning that?
Well, I like the Peddlers.
You peddle your wares.
To the lost continent, but keep going.
But anyway, no, the sound of 60s, early 70s eras, Bee Gees was very much of that melancholy ballad tone, and I think that's where a lot of their best work comes, like To Love Somebody in Massachusetts, and I Started a Joke, and Words. How Can You Mend a Broken Heart? Like, I love that era of the Bee Gees. That was really something for me. But the more much in the same way that the popular era of the Beatles is the mop top age, the heartthrob mop top, running from crowds of screaming 80-year-old women at this point, is what people think of the Beatles. What happened with the Bee Gees is the disco era, the disco funk era hit, and sort of their reinvention period began with that of, and that's where you have all the disco funk hits like Jive Talkin' and Stayin' Alive and Night Fever and all of that, which I like, and they're fun and they're funky and they're groovy. And, it certainly belongs to that era. But, everything became very high pitched and a little too high pitched for me with the falsetto. And it's just not my preferred era of the band. And I think people who think of the Bee Gees purely as that, as this gimmicky 70s disco throwback, really should go back and revisit a lot of their late 60s work, because that is beautiful, beautiful work that I think it's overshadowed.
I need to hear this, because I never had much of an opinion on the Bee Gees, but it would be cool.
You've heard some of these songs. You've heard like
of course I have.
You Don't Know What It Likes to Love Somebody.
Yeah.
You've heard their earlier stuff.
Not their earlier stuff, but I'm familiar with their disco crud.
No, but you have heard some of their earlier songs, I would imagine. You've heard like what's another, like Words? It's only words, and words are all I have to take your breath away. Like there are so two distinct eras that you can draw a perfect line in the sand where nothing sounded like that after this disco boom of the mid to late 70s.
Interesting. It's funny.
Anyway.
You sang it beautifully. I will admit that. I'll give you that cookie. Here, open your mouth. There you go.
I don't open my mouth for you anymore, Raph, after what you pulled last time with your ventriloquism act.
It's not my fault I chloroformed you and dressed you up as a clown. Hey, kids, you like giant clowns that awkwardly sit on my knee? Well, here's Mr. Bibbo. Hi, Mr. Bibbo. How you doing, everybody?
But a lot of the Robin Gibbs sung songs, and he's the brother with the most nasally voice, like I Started a Joke. You've heard that song as well, I would assume, which started the whole world.
Here's what I was going to say. Yeah, you're singing these songs beautifully, but it's like likely if I hear them, I'd be like, oh, yeah, I do recognize this song. So because
Well, lyrically and like just as pieces of poetry, I think 60s, the early 70s era's Bee Gees is up there with some of the great, work of their contemporaries that are legends in the business. Like some of the more melancholy, bluesy Rolling Stones songs, which is sort of what I prefer in a lot of. No, I like a lot of the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
But they scratch a different itch, whatever song they're doing. But I like a lot of the sort of melancholic, Wild Horses style Rolling Stones songs rather than the Sympathy of the Devil type Rolling Stones songs a lot of the time. A similar type of thing with the Bee Gees, where I can have fun with disco era Bee Gees, and there's no better disco song in my mind than "You Should Be Dancing." Yeah, it's great,
yeah.
but I just have my preference, and that's okay.
Oh yeah, there's a Bee Gees song in Short Circuit that's actually very well done. So
Do the robot, oh, do the robot.
no, oh yeah, you still need to see the Short Circuit movies. It sucks. I'm gonna go house sitting and you have to work. It's like I wish we could just stream a bunch of movies throughout a week and get annoyed of each other.
The whole point of this whole conversation was just I was having this talk with Raph, and I think it's interesting when there are very two definite lines you can draw in the sand between eras of a singular artist. So, in terms of film, you can do that obviously with Spielberg's career being probably the most famous one, or the Coens to a certain extent, or I don't know, Tarantino's kind of remained consistent for better and worse throughout his career. But you know what I mean, where it's the same team or the same person producing the work, but they have reinvented themselves at one point, and then there can be a divide within their own fan base. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I fully understand. So with that said, I do have a question for you. Was there sort of like a before and after era for Mr. David Bowie?
Oh my! Well, there's like 18 different eras of David Bowie because he was constantly doing the reinventing thing. In his early days, he was very much inspired by like what's his name? The lead singer Ree Davies and from the Kinks and people like that. So if you look at really early late 60s era David Bowie, a lot of his songs sound like rejected Kinks songs, which are fantastic nonetheless because the Kinks are in a league of their own, and I like a lot of Bowie's earlier music. But he then gets into the very funk infused stuff with like your Young Americans or your Let's Dance or Fame, stuff like that. And then when he was on the verge of death during his very late career, it was kind of harkening back to his Thin White Duke era when it was very melancholic, very moody, outright depressing in some cases songs, which are in their own way a work of beauty. So he's kind of the go-to artist, a singular artist for me, who has reinvented themselves so many times over the course of one career. And there's really not a false note in the bunch, I would say. I like all eras of Bowie. We won't get into the personality or the debating personality traits behind this individual himself, but I've always kind of been more of a Jackson 5 fan than a Michael Jackson fan. With all the baggage that comes with that of what was prompting the Jackson 5 to work as hard as they did with their father and all that stuff, all of that bad baggage in the background.
Right.
I kind of find myself as fun poppy hits, I like the Jackson 5 a little more than. And I don't dislike some of Michael Jackson's songs, but it's just personal preference. It's all a matter of preference.
Yeah, it's funny. Like ever since Michael Jackson died, for better or worse,
it's never a good thing when someone dies. It's for worse in the art world and the music world.
But that's the only time when Uncle Grim Reaper shows up and takes me out for ice cream. I'm here to pick up somebody, but let's go get some ice cream, kid! Yay!
The Grim Reaper's your uncle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't you have a Angel of Death as one of your uncles?
I wish my uncle was Sam Neill. I also rewatched Hunt for the Wilder People recently too after his passing, and that's an all-time favorite for me, I think.
Yeah. Oh God, it's a great movie in its own right. It's such a shame that each and every talented person who's in that movie ended up getting scooped up in Hollywood to play minor characters in Hollywood films.
Or eaten by monstrous boars in the New Zealand bush.
Oh, who? What happened to that? Who happened there?
No, there's the big scary pigs in that movie. And I
Oh.
ain't talking about the child protection worker. I ain't talking about her.
Get back
she
here,
plays a
Bobby,
great
Ricky
villain.
Bobby,
Ricky Baker.
Ricky
You're
Baker.
Sarah Connor. I'm the Terminator.
Yeah.
And you're Sarah Connor before she could do a chin up in the sequel.
I love that scene where he's like, it's Ricky Baker is like, pretending that he's invisible in the woods, and all of a sudden the two antagonists like, there you are.
Yeah.
And they have a little dialogue screaming contest in the middle of the
Oh, yeah.
jungle.
That kid, like, one of the most, I think the most lovable fat kid in all of cinema
Mhm.
is that actor as Ricky Baker in that movie. He is so, the comic timing he has, is, like, just physicality wise, is
Mhm.
tremendous.
Yeah, no, it's funny.
Shit just got real with the pump action rifle that's twice as large as he is.
Yeah, exactly. He's one of the I don't mind Deadpool 2, but he's one of the things that keeps me hooked for that movie. It's very flawed compared to the first Deadpool. The Deadpool movies are I don't know, I have mixed feelings about them, but I ultimately like the first two over the third one. But yeah, no, he's in that movie as a young mutant child who may end up becoming a terrible supervillain in the future. So yeah, but no,
So not much of a stretch for the actor.
yeah. I hope not. I hope he grows up to be a beloved character actor and he's into funny comedies or something. So I had
Well,
this
the MonsterVerse are kind of funny unintentional comedies.
yeah, and as far as we know, nobody's committed egregious acts of evil who's appeared in those movies. I know Godzilla has a coke addiction, but
Yeah, not that I can name right offhand.
yeah, exactly. Okay, getting back to poor Sam Neill, though. Yeah, it sucks that he's gone from the world. There is... I know he has one more movie coming out, and that's the Godzilla Supernova film. For Sam Neill, to be honest, despite my love for kaiju, I really was indifferent towards that film 100%. It's like, if it came out, fine, I'll sneak into it or something. But no, I really could care less. It's like, I think they should have just stopped with a New Empire, or at least focus on the 50-Foot Woman remakes. But no, if Sam Neill is truly the star and he's in there from the beginning and end, regardless how bad the movie will be, at least his presence alone will make the film a little better. So, or they might do the MonsterVerse thing where they kill him off at like the 20-minute
In the
mark.
first reel, sure, yeah, very just eaten by some monster with no pomp and circumstance behind it.
Yeah, exactly, because apparently Hollywood hates Americans hate British people. Hollywood hates character actors. The Chinese hate the Japanese, hence why all the Japanese characters keep getting killed off in major movies. The British hate the Japanese. The Japanese hate...
It's just a sad last role. It's like one of the examples that, and people like Cars, so I'm not, I don't, but people do.
Mhm.
But I think this can kind of be disproven because Cars came out like 2 or 3 years after Road to Perdition. Road to Perdition is another one of my all-time favorite movies, and that was Paul Newman's last on-screen performance. But Cars, by technicality, is his last performance because he's the voice of Doc Hudson in Cars. But I think that he recorded the dialogue for that film around the same time he was filming Road to Perdition. So in a sense, I still want to say that Road to Perdition was his last performance. I don't want to think that his last role was as a fucking cartoon automobile.
Yeah, and in that very flawed movie, he is one of the good things about it, or at least the only good thing about it. So,
well, people like Cars inexplicably. I kind of think it signaled so it's not so Babe Ruth just fumbled, huh? In terms of what Pixar was producing around the time, that was kind of their first one where I was like,
I don't buy that whole theory that the Simpsons predict the future. In fact, I'm of the opposite. I think that nothing's changed, and the Simpsons have been around for so long that it just repeats the same cycles. But with that said, holy shit, they definitely saw the future of Pixar when they made fun of it with I think they did a fake commercial called Ketchup Bottles about sentient ketchup bottles from Pixar?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that clip just recently of Bart in the theater watching that, and they do it in 3D animated fashion.
Yeah.
It doesn't look too far off model for Pixar.
Yeah, and that was only a few years before Cars came out. So yeah, they knew
Yeah.
And not only that, but those Simpsons guys, like I know they're mostly white comedy writers, but they know enough about the animation industry where they kind of knew where Lasseter really stood.
Yeah.
So I think because they kind of like lightly hint to that when there was like one episode where it's like, oh, it's John Lasseter Pixar, and he's like riding around on a skidway or whatever the hell they called those little things. Segway, yeah. And it's like he was being so smug and nasty towards everyone too. It's like, of course, it's mainstream Simpsons, newer Simpsons, so they had to kind of play it down a bit. But it's like, holy, yeah, they knew exactly the kind of person he was. But yeah, there you go, ketchup bottles. And then we got Cars, and it was nothing but Cars sequels after that. So, yeah. But yeah, no, with that says, though, yeah, if Sam Neill turns out to be the secret awesome hero that keeps the movie together, then yeah, I'll go see it for his sake. But as we also know, the MonsterVerse doesn't treat its character actors well, so... Hollywood doesn't treat any actors well, do they? It's like we just got Chalamet, and that's it.
Oh, well, you got every actor under the sun in The Odyssey. A movie that I will not see.
Oh, okay, spoilers ahead. I wasn't going to go see it myself, but I got pissed off when I found out what they did to the Cyclops.
Oh. I hear that the Cyclops sequence is one of the best scenes of the movie.
Well, here's the funny thing about the Odyssey. The Cyclops scene is usually the best scene of any Odyssey movie, even the bad ones. But,
Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou was my Odyssey movie. I don't need to see
Oh, yeah, John Goodman is a Cyclops. He needs to play more Cyclopses. So, metaphysically, he's not literally a Cyclops, but it's obvious who he's playing. So
he's got an eye patch.
Yeah, exactly. So, and no, I know it's like a real world stand-in for a Cyclops, but still, it's a Cyclops in spirit.
And he doesn't eat anybody.
He would have.
I'll never turn down a good meal when I see it.
I'm young John Goodman. Feed me.
I'm looking forward to the film trailer. I just want to see what it turns out to be, because the trailer is so much. I want to see how John Goodman, a.k.a. the narcoleptic president versus the icebergs, turns out with very impressive practical makeup effects on Tom Cruise in Digger.
Yeah, that's a recent movie. Like I said, it might turn out to be a really good satirical spoof, but at the same time, it gives me look up vibes.
It's Alejandro Iñárritu, who his only verging on comedy film that he's made by this point is Birdman, which is only kind of a comedy. That's more of a showbiz satire in itself as well. Then he directed I think this is his first film since The Revenant. Maybe I'm wrong, but I liked his movies. I just haven't seen something this outright apparently farcical from him. So I will watch it just because the trailer is intriguing.
Yeah, and it's John Goodman in it, so that alone is worth the price of admission.
And his part looks funny.
Yeah, he looks like Biden and Trump merged into a singular creature.
I have to say, not to sound cruel about it or anything, because we love the man, obviously, but is he one of those celebrities who look just dreadful thin in their older age? It's good for his health, and we need him more, around more years, as many as we can have him. But I miss jolly old elf John Goodman. Yeah,
a little bit, but at the same time, don't forget he's in like terrifying old man makeup. So
I know, but like
fisheye lens.
No, I'm saying in the movie, okay, fine, but out of the movie, just in interviews and stuff, like I don't know, he looks ill. Like he looks ill thin, and that's why I fear for him every day when I see him in something in a new interview piece.
Yeah, it could just be old age catching up, because I think when he was heavier set and younger, we always imagined him as a literal figure of giant.
Yeah, his last very heavy set performance was in 10 Cloverfield Lane, I believe, because that was a film that notoriously had reshoots and was filmed about a year or two before it came out. That like it was in the can to accommodate all of JJ's studio note reshoots with the climax. But what's funny about that movie is he is so large in the film that when he's doing press for the movie, when it finally came to do the rounds of that, he had lost all the weight, so he really bore no resemblance to the version of him that you see in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think it's a situation where we're so used to him being this big old Santa Claus character that when he did lose the weight, it just psychologically affects us a bit. But I can see where you're coming at a little bit. But no,
I have to mention a funny quote though by my best friend in high school, Jordan. Her and I went to see the movie together, and her mom, who was driving us home, we mentioned, "Oh, John Goodman is in it." Oh, and she said something like, "Oh, he lost all that weight recently." And my friend Jordan, who's not as film obsessed as we are, she said, "Really? Throughout the film, it looked like he was gaining weight." Her delivery on it was much better than mine, but that always springs to mind when I think of fat John Goodman.
yeah, but no,
he seemed to be gaining weight throughout the film.
There's a lot of cupcakes.
Every scene, he was larger and larger, and he was just eating ice cream by the end of the feature.
Right? Are we sure he was just not mistaken because he was watching on the big screen?
That may have played a factor, but I don't know. He's pretty large and in charge in that movie, right?
Yeah.
If you recall, when he does shake his groove thing, I mean, the Earth, I was gonna say platonic, the tectonic plates of the world shake with him.
I know you don't expect the most terrifying character in a whole movie more so than the giant robotic bio-cyborg spaceship, and it's like he shakes his butt.
If you get them into your heart, go on and tell him. What my favorite part of that is he twerks at the camera, but they shoot it in background, like he's in the background where he's going up the steps and then does like a little hop step backwards and then goes up the steps again. He was really enjoying himself in that moment.
Exactly. So. But no, getting back to Digger, just as context, everyone, Digger is a new movie from the director whose name I will not mention because I will butcher it. Brayton, go.
Inarritu.
Yeah. See, I'm not going to do it.
That's his last name. His full name is Alejandro something Inarritu.
I'm going to call him Alejandro. I can say that.
He's a great Spanish director.
Yeah.
One of the best we have going.
Yeah, no, it's a movie about the titular Digger. It's like this incredibly wealthy old Texan played by Tom Cruise, whose some mining operations in the Antarctic somehow begins the end of the world. But it's told mostly from the point of view of him and all the politicians who are in his pocket, including John Goodman as a barely functioning president. Been there.
Yep.
It looks interesting. It looks very satirical and bizarre, like a Terry Gilliam Monty Python movie. My only concern though is after Don't Look Up, I'm kind of no longer excited about needlessly nihilistic or just flippantly nihilistic movies where the world ends, but it's like there's nothing you can do about it because we're kind of living it right now. I hope it's not the case. I hope we make it out of okay in the next 10 years or less. But yeah, no, I feel it's going to be one of those movies where every innocent character is a minor, soulless nothing that gets killed off. And we're basically stuck with these horrible people who live long, happy lives, even as the world falls apart. But we'll see what happens. It's like I said, John Goodman in it. I'll give it a chance just on that alone. So, and this director is very...
And what I'm most happy about...
Yeah.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No. And this director has done some really good work in the past, so he'll probably do a lot better than McKay did with Don't Look Up, which is that movie. Yeah, I may agree with its politics, but its execution sucked, and I want to kick in its butt. Figuratively. Because you can't literally kick
Okay, and
butt.
I'm sorry, and if I'm interrupting you, it's not me being rude, but we're having some severe lagging problems right now. But yeah, Adam McKay has always been one of those directors it's all on the nose, his commentary. But no, I'm just looking forward to it because this year, if anything else, is really shaping out to be one of the better film years in quite a while. Because I made a list earlier of I'm keeping track of all the new releases that I've seen this year, as well as new releases that I'm looking forward to that are still to come in the 5 more months that we have of this year. I've enjoyed Send Help. I've really enjoyed Project Hail Mary, The Sheep Detectives. I liked Obsession. Backrooms and Disclosure Day I was not very enthused with, but they were at least interesting to talk about. But of films yet to be seen, oh, and The Invite as well is another huge favorite of mine, because that's kind of like a modern, dinner party from hell play on film, in the vein of something like Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf with Seth Rogen and Edward Norton. It's a great movie
Mm-hmm.
that I think is still running theatrically. But other films that I really am looking forward to this year, we mentioned Digger, Wild Horse 9, which is the new film from Martin McDonagh, who is the writer-director of In Bruges and The Banshees of Inisherin and
Oh.
Seven Psychopaths.
Okay, you did mention this
and
one
the
to me.
three billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm reading the synopsis here. I'll read the synopsis for you. Shortly before the 1973 Chilean coup, CIA agents Chris and Lee are dispatched from Santiago to Easter Island by the bureau chief MJ. Amongst the island's iconic statues, and as the longtime partners wrestle with their dark pasts and present conspiracies, Chris's newfound bond with a pair of rebellious students threatens to send everyone's trip to the remote paradise sideways. And get a load of this cast: John Malkovich, Sam Rockwell, Steve Buscemi, Parker Posey, Tom Waits.
Okay, I'm there. It's like I don't give a
How
shit.
could this go wrong?
Yeah, I don't give a shit about
Yeah.
dark comedies based on real world horrific events, but holy shit, I'm there. And I did see the trailer for it. It actually looked pretty good. So a little more comical than the director's other works, though. So, but then again, it's Steve
I've still yet
Buscemi.
to see the trailer. The trailer is out. I've still yet to see the trailer.
Oh yeah, it's definitely on Easter Island. So yeah, there's nothing but MOA heads everywhere. So, are you gonna try to look for it right now and give it a quick watch?
So that's what I'm looking forward to. That. What else is this year? Godzilla minus. Raph, the leg is intolerable right now, so I think I might close out and then come back in.
Okay, then I'm gonna close some extra windows and see what I can do on my end.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we have a little bit of technical difficulties going on. So yeah, we're gonna. Oh, you son of a! Oh, wait a minute. Can you guys see that or not? Nah, whatever happens, happens. Oh, that sucks.
How am I sounding now?
You're sounding okay, but I didn't get a chance to close up anything on my end that needed to be closed up. So yeah, hold on. I'm gonna try to.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Zip it up.
Can you hear me on real time right now?
I can hear you in real time right now. I said it right after you finish your sentence.
Okay, there is a lag going on about 5 seconds. Okay, give me a moment. I'm gonna go and I wish we had a technical difficulty screen to go into right now. Okay, yeah, give me a little while. I'm gonna go close up some extra programs we don't need. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go to a standby. Please stand by. Where is the standby? Give me the normal standby.
It's
damn it.
fine. We'll work with it. I don't think it's too.
No. I think the issue maybe I got way too many extra programming going on. You've got
going on.
You got to be kidding me. Oh, there it is. Please stand by. All right. Okay, I'll be back in a little bit. I'm going to mute us for a little while. We'll be back in a little while. No music. Just deal with it. All right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. We are going, just to avoid the lag. Brayton recommended we're going to go at a respectable rate. I will say,
go talking slow.
yes, we will talk very slow.
Oh my god, I want to do a fan edit with John Goodman movies where I just edit him down slowly. So everything else plays as normal, but John Goodman himself speaks at like half speed throughout the entire movie. I think that'd be kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Joke for myself. I don't know.
Yes. Speaking of the Odyssey, of dealing with this live stream, Zyza Draws has joined us. He says, I just got back from watching the Odyssey. How ya all doing? Well, Zyza Draws, we have a question for you. Can you give us your review?
I don't.
Yeah.
Ref does.
Can you give us your review of the Odyssey? I want to hear what your thoughts on it, because I'm kind of Brayton's avoiding it because he's not a Nolan fan. Understandable.
No, it's not only I'm not a Nolan fan, but it's just the epitome from what I've seen, what I know that it will be, because Nolan's gotten off recently, and he's like with the Oppenheimer, it's edited so poorly, and the worst parts of Nolan have just been amplified to the nth degree, where every single line of dialogue is exposition in all of his movies now. It's impossible for me to wrap my head around, and it's not a matter of me being too dumb for them. The man is too up his ass sideways with expository lines of dialogue. The Odyssey now being a very straightforward, old as time narrative, you'd think that would sort of tame him a bit. I fear that it won't. And I have major issues with the casting, and it isn't the very annoying transphobic conservative type of issues with the casting, racist issues with the casting. It's are you familiar, Raph, with the term iPhone face? I think I've mentioned this many times.
No, this is the same thing I was hinting with Chalamet. You mentioned iPhone face.
Yeah.
I mentioned the fact that Hollywood, like, okay, just let me say this. I will defend Nolan. If a director is reusing the same actors over and over again, that shows a man who gets along well with his cast and crew. But with that, and for that, I kind of respect Nolan a little bit for that. But no, this does feel like your typical Hollywood movie where we only have a handful of actors who we currently have faith in, and we just throw them all in one movie. It's like, for crying out loud, you have Matt Damon and Tom Holland and Zendaya in this movie. It's like, you might as well just like make like a Wonder Woman movie with just Batman characters. But no, go on about your iPhone face, because I think it is an interesting term that people should know about more.
No, iPhone face is just something that span, I think, from Timothy Chalamet, again, funny enough, is that he was in, I don't remember the name of his movie, but one of his earlier films was a period piece, and there was a comment that says, I can't take this film seriously or Chalamet seriously, where in every scene it looks like he has an iPhone in his back pocket. And that has sprung up the term iPhone face, where maybe no fault of their own, maybe big fault of, the makeup and costume designer, is they put no effort into roughing up pretty boy and pretty girl actors these days. And it's been, a tale as old as time, where, like, I mean, if you look at, these type of Greek epics and whatever in the 50s, where everyone is very posh, and, that's not any better. But whenever an actor from, I would say, like a post-2000s era film is playing a person or a character set in the olden times, it comes off as really inauthentic. I think it's safe to say, because humans, like, physicality wise, vocally, have evolved in their own way so much that it doesn't really work within the setting. And I fear, from what I've heard about Nolan's version of the Odyssey, people are dropping like fuck bombs. Like, at a certain point someone says, get the fuck out of here in the Odyssey. I mean, that's not right. And also, what, Tom Holland is in there, Zendaya is in there, Travis Scott is in a Nolan film. My problems with Nolan is I think he's at the stage in his career where he knows he can get away with anything because he is the write your own ticket name. It's an event film whenever he makes something new, so people will come to see whatever he makes regardless. And so that's why he can have fucking dickheads like Travis Scott, who is responsible for the murder of many of the concert goers, with the famous incident where people were trampled to death because he was like, no, let more of them in, on
Right.
stage.
Right.
And many people lost their lives. So Nolan can have him in a movie and have him be I don't know the character's name, but the person basically telling the story of the Odyssey. That's his character.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty fucking ridiculous. And everything that I've seen, it reeks of nothing but generic, it looks like Troy, but for in this day and age with a more competent director behind it. And funny enough, because Nolan was going to direct Troy before the Batman thing fell into his lap. That was going to be his film, and I kind of wish he would have, because in a better world that would have humbled him a bit, I think, if he had directed Troy. But
Yeah, who directed
the Brad
Troy?
Pitt version of Troy, I mean. I forget.
Yeah,
Probably of someone of no consequence, like Ridley Scott or something. I don't know.
and
I don't know who.
Yeah, and disappeared off the face of the earth and never came back. Like there are some things about Nolan I have enjoyed from his films, but with that said, I do think he is a little too far.
Wolfgang Peterson directed Troy. Go figure.
That poor man. No,
Yeah.
not you, Wolfie. Not Wolfie.
Wolfie.
Look at this poor man. He directed Troy. Come, sit down, Wolfie. Relax in my coffin. It is yours for now.
Yeah. But there's a certain level of false prestige, I think, that goes with... on one hand, as a proponent of the cinema and people going out to see thoughtful films, I appreciate the fact that we do have a director in this day and age, like Nolan, who their name can basically sell a ticket, like a Hitchcock, like a Spielberg, like a Tarantino. Nolan, just having his name on something will get people to see the movie. I just am so annoyed by Nolan fans. I think they're 2 steps away from a Snyder bro. They're, as what I always say, a Nolan fan is a Snyder bro who drinks Starbucks and wears a neck scarf. That's the only difference. They're as annoying and as persistent and as bro-y, and that turns me off.
Yeah, that is true. So, and I don't much care for Nolan's insistence on making everything so bloody realistic, which is ironic because this is the same man who made Tenet.
Well, and again, case in point, where every single line of dialogue in Tenet is absolutely inscrutable exposition.
Yeah, meanwhile, people are bending time and fighting their doppelgangers.
Yeah.
I did appreciate...
Well, and there are a lot of flaws with him. Like his female characters are never well developed at all. He's kind of like... what would be an example? I don't know. Like if a Stanley Kubrick mindset directed... But it was like that kind of mindset he's approaching things, where he's very tech-focused and gear-focused, and all of his characters, they don't really speak realistically. He has those elements of Kubrick, but if Kubrick wanted to make like James Cameron movies, or Michael Bay films, or whatever, it's like that.
I was thinking like latter era Ridley Scott, like his goddamn Napoleon movie, and how weird and distant the human characters were in that one. So, I think James Cameron though is probably a better comparison. Did you make a comparison, James Cameron?
I just said James Cameron.
Yeah. No, I think
Nolan is kind of like, what if Kubrick had his mindset but only wanted to make James Cameron style movies? That's good. Because I mean, Nolan, I think his best film still for me, I like The Prestige, but his best film is Insomnia, which was a remake of a Norwegian procedural film that only came out a few years prior. And since then, I think he may have done a little rewriting on it, but Nolan is pretty much saddled with his brother as a writer for a lot of his films. Like, it's them working primarily together. I know that with Batman Begins, at least, didn't they have that David Goyer guy, I think?
David Goyer. Yeah, they had him, so...
But I don't think Nolan is an especially strong... when it comes to characters and writing and an actual story being told, I don't think that's his strong suit. I think his insistence is just wowing the audience. And the characters are just kind of facilitators of whatever new step in technology and in scope he wants to accomplish. Like Dunkirk, I thought was sort of where flaws were starting to show with his characters, especially because that was sort of a more character-focused type of... It's a war film, but it's, it insists on you caring about the characters on the battlefield, and
Yeah.
I didn't. So I think that's never really been his strongest suit, and people and emotions, and he's not handling all of that well. His focus is more on the stunning set pieces and action sequences and blah blah blah. That's why I say, what if Kubrick wanted to make Cameron films?
Yeah, he's almost like Tim Burton in that regard. He's lost the human touch just for the wacky bells and whistles. But with that said, about the controversy going on with his insistence on IMAX.
I find it hilarious, his insistence on IMAX. What is the controversy, though, specifically?
He went out of his way to film this movie in IMAX, but unlike his
natively on IMAX cameras, yes.
Yeah, but unlike his previous movies where he tried to keep the regular ratio in mind, he went full on, hey, peasants, if you want to see this movie right, pay $1 billion to go see it on IMAX instead of a regular screen. Oh,
yeah, the whole IMAX 70mm thing.
Yeah, but no, he's been very vicious and adamant about it. You need to see this movie in IMAX.
See it the right way.
Yeah, a method that turns out to be way too expensive for already expensive movie tickets for starving commoners. So now there's screenshots showing just how bad the regular version of the film is compared to the IMAX version. In the IMAX version, you can see the silver-suited giant knights well enough full in frame, whereas the regular, shall we say, groundlings priced regular screen experience
is cropped in.
Yes, the giants are literally cropped in their chests, if not their waists, and it just when these, like, I don't want to think every filmmaker is like kind of a rich elitist, but when they start thinking that way, the technology before the audience, then you're in trouble. And I think Nolan definitely is guilty of that, where he's like, it's like Robert Zemeckis. He has a new toy, story and character be damned. I get to play with this and show it off.
Well, that insistence on watching my movie the right way, like even though I kind of go back and forth on this guy as a filmmaker, I appreciate the underdog spirit when someone like a Tarantino does like the roadshow version of the Hateful Eight and stuff like that, because he's obviously coming at it from a place of nerddom and wanting to make it fun.
Yeah,
Nolan, I think, sits on a hill of superiority, I have to say.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm getting at too. Yeah.
With his position, and that's what I mentioned, like he knows that he can do anything and people will come. He just has to build it, and he can write his own ticket for the rest of his career because of the fucking Batman movies, and you and I were talking about that, of like, what if he never made those? It's like the butterfly effect of all time, is if Nolan didn't direct those fucking Batman films, then he wouldn't have appealed to the populist film goer audience, and he wouldn't have all that goodwill riding on, it's the Batman guy, he can do anything, he's one of the premier storytellers of our time.
Yeah, and not only that, but like,
I don't like them.
Yeah, the Batman movies feel like comic book movies made for people who are embarrassed about comic book movies. I think
who want to save face and feel adult when buying a ticket to see a Batman movie.
Yeah, exactly. The same people who made the Transformer movies, the big hits that they were. But yeah, with that said, though, Nolan's insistence on technical, fanciness, for lack of a better term,
pushing the bound. That's kind of the Cameron thing too, where Cameron also has he's very obsessed with how far can I push the limits of the technical aspect, and where that becomes the whole selling point of the campaign around the movie. Yeah.
Again, character, audience, and story be damned. I got a new toy. I got a new car. Let me show it off.
Yeah.
But no, more to the point, his insistence on being realistic and edgy really shot himself in the foot, because I found out recently something about the Odyssey movie that completely kept me from wanting to see this at all. I wasn't going to go see it. If I had the opportunity, if somebody wanted to take me to the theater, sure. But now that I've heard it, I was generally just pissed off and offended. And you're going to laugh your ass off. You're going to giggle and you're going to make fun of me forever if I say this. But his insistence on being realistic ruins one of the most pivotal scenes in all the Odyssey, as well as one of its most memorable antagonists. The Cyclops doesn't speak. He went out of ways. He wanted to keep the Cyclops realistic, so the Cyclops doesn't have a single line of dialogue. How do you do that to Polyphemus? Dude, the whole point is you're stuck in a cave with a man-eating monster, but he's intelligent enough to still have a conversation with you. It's the all-time great giant story that inspired all the other giant stories. It would go on to inspire Jack and the Beanstalk and his hilarious conversations with Thunderdell. It's like, oh yeah, you can stay the night and have dinner, but I will kill you in the morning. Just giving you a heads up, kid. It's like, come on. And then all this just. What's the point? That's the thing in the original story. They trick Polyphemus. I'm probably saying the Cyclops' name wrong, but I'm going to try. Into basically tricking him, to getting him drunk, to convincing him, oh yeah, you can eat us in the morning and all that. And then they stab his eye out. And what's the point if the Cyclops is just this big, burling monster that doesn't say a damn thing? And you can have the Cyclops talk in darkness. You don't need to show a deformed CGI face talk. It's like, come on, Nolan.
Well, I want to say too, like you can say that he has that insistent on realism, and that can be an argument. But one thing I want to say too, and another large piece of or a comment that the Red Letter Dumbshits made about some of the backlash against the Odyssey is that people are complaining that there are no Greek actors in the Odyssey. Well, you wouldn't see it if they were speaking Greek. Oh my God! Like I said, I think Fat Face is wrong, because people would see it, because, like I keep saying, Nolan has written his ticket and anybody will see what he makes regardless of the language. But I mean, you can say one thing about realism, but like so many whiteys on the front lines in that film, number one, with like completely flat modern American inflections to their voice and dropping F-bombs. And like on one hand, he has that, you can say that he has that need or just a handicap for realism or whatever, but to do something out of left field like that, which is so 50 years ago in terms of a story like this, when you have people like anti-Semitic dickhead Mel Gibson, who made Apocalypto, and look at the lengths that he went to, where every single line of dialogue is going to be spoken in the with the Mayan inflection of the period and of the time. When that guy is putting so much detail and effort into getting the perspective right, and you're not, and you have the means and the blank check in Hollywood to do whatever you want, I also feel like that's another huge casting issue of just casting, and a direction issue of not having them take on any inflections to their voice. I think that's really cheap. Yeah. In post 2020 filmmaking, it feels so lazy. To me that he wouldn't go the extra bounds to at least cast. You can say that it's cool that he works with the same people over and over again, but maybe there's a reason why he works with the same people over and over again.
It may just be his fancy, his preference. So no, yeah. I totally agree. And plus, wouldn't it be cheaper to get like actors of color who are Greek and all that? It's like there's a lot of them working in the business. They just aren't. Again, Zendaya, Tom Holland.
Or Tom Holland. Can I say Tom Holland's a terrible actor, by the way? Can we just say that? Outside of the confines of a Spider-Man Marvel superhero movie, I watched two of his other films. One of them was called Cherry, which was directed by the Russo brothers, which he's the military guy in that. He's a bad actor. Like, horribly bad. I cannot picture him at all within the confines of the Odyssey or being Matt Damon's son.
Hey guys, there's this really old poem that I read it's called the Ballad of Gilgamesh. Are you guys familiar with it? I never heard of it before.
Yeah.
That line fucking angered me. And the Spider-Man movies he's in too just annoy the hell out of me. Just because Spider-Man for babies, literally. But no, I think you're onto a good point. I do have to ask you this though. They hired a dragon to play the Cyclops. Do you think that was kind of like really bad race bending on their part?
They should have hired a spider to really go against type.
A giant spider to play the Cyclops.
Thanagarian Snare Beast, to be more
I know, and the giant spider's like, I can barely fit my damn legs into these human footprints. What the hell?
This wardrobe is a menace.
Right. It's like they could have hired a real Cyclops actor. There's plenty of them, but instead they got a dragon. They spent 143 hours on makeup to make the dragon look like a Cyclops. It's and Sir Houghton Breath doesn't deserve this. He's done better work.
Yeah. But no, and that's funny, but not to undercut the point,
Yes.
I do think they
you.
could have done with a few Greek actors.
Yeah,
Instead of just complete whitewashed iPhone face as far as the eye could see.
I know.
But the fact is, when you bring up as a criticism the casting, people think and want to group you in and play political wars and want to pretend that you're another one of these racist, transphobic douchebags. When no, I'm not. I'm saying this is an issue that it's not more diverse for the story. You know, it's,
yeah.
The whole discourse around Nolan is so aggravating that, like, whenever he makes a new movie, when he made Oppenheimer, I went and saw Oppenheimer. I didn't like Oppenheimer, but I said to myself, it's a Nolan movie, so there's going to be conversation and hubbubaloo about it for the next few months, but it'll die down eventually. The bad part about that was we had the double phenomenon of not only was it a Nolan movie, but you also had Barbenheimer on top of that. So the conversation around it went the whole rest of the year about how wonderful Oppenheimer was. With this, it's so much worse because it's not only another Nolan movie, but it's also people trying to stick up or decry the movie. People who have no right to be talking about films on either side of the aisle and are fucking annoying talk pieces and just want to weaponize the movie to continue their culture war. I don't want to hear about the Odyssey. I don't want to see the Odyssey. Our wonderful viewer out there who has seen the Odyssey, I hope they had a good time.
Yeah. In fact, I'm going to read Zaizaudraw's comments, and thank you, Zaizaudraw's, for being okay. So he says he thought it was an okay movie. Pacing and parts taken out of the story were odd in his opinion. I didn't hate it, he continues, but it feels like I've seen better adaptations of the story. Good point. Goji Shea chimes in and quickly says, Chasing Argonauts remains the best Greek mythology movie for me. Can't argue against that. Talos, my boy. And then to continue Zaizaudraw's, he says, you bring up a good point, Raph. The Odyssey felt like it was a fantasy movie trying not to be a fantasy movie. Other friends of mine brought up that fact and several other changes. That and a few other changes. So yeah, and it's funny too because there is a lot of really engaging stuff in the Odyssey. Like, I know there's a lot of cool monsters and sexy supernatural babes throughout the whole movie, throughout the story. But I always kind of like the idea that, yeah, it's at the end of the big climax is him coming home and dealing with the the suitors who are perfectly described in the original poem as men who don't care about servants or the wrath of gods. The safety of servants or the wrath of gods. So, which is a great way to describe them. And yeah, some of the best Odyssey adaptations always go out of their way to, like, you know, the massacre of the suitors is like such a badass moment. It's a little harsh, but at the same time, these people have been living in his house for 10 years, threatening his wife and son amongst other people. So,
like your cats.
I come back home, it's like, there's more cats in here. All right, Fluffy, prove yourself. Fire this arrow between all these axes. Okay, sure. Oh, I couldn't do it. Well, now I'm going to do it. Or is it me and Fluffy taking out the other cats, and she's kind of the closest thing I have to a daughter?
No, Fluffy is your abusive housemate.
Oh, okay.
That's the lore that we've set up.
Right. Clean it up, Oscar. Oh, Fluffy, Fluffy, Fluffy.
I said clean it up.
No.
Anyway, what else is this year though? I made a list here of things. That
Hail Mary, Project Hail Mary came out.
That came out this year, but I'm saying of things yet to come out that I'm interested in seeing. Ray Gun, which was the new Brad Bird film.
Oh yeah.
Which he's been working on or has been spitballing for decades. The Debut, which is a new Paul Giamatti picture. Werewolf.
The Debut.
The Debut. It's it kind of seems like Whiplash, but for the theater, with Paul Giamatti playing the in this scenario the J.K. Simmons type, a very high strung personality type a character in the Debut.
Is it? I
want to see it for. It
dark
seems.
comedy?
It seems tinged that way. I want to see it because it's the big post Holdovers Giamatti film that, you know, I really loved him in the Holdovers. I want to see him carry this flame and carry this torch to a Academy Award in the next couple of years. Because I don't remember if he was up for it for the holdovers or not, but he should have been. God damn it. Anyway, so the debut is this year. Werewolf is this year, which is Robert Eggers' take on lycanthropes. The
Horny
Social Reckoning
werewolves making out in mud.
with mustaches.
Yes, that too.
One hopes. The Social Reckoning
my
comes out this year. Clayface is this year.
Oh, you're actually excited about the Clayface movie?
Just to see how it turns out. I wouldn't just call me excited about it. But
I hope it's good.
Clayface is a character that I can't believe hasn't. Well, I can believe hasn't been done yet for technology's sake. But if you're gonna make something dark and horrific and whatever, and tragic more hopefully than anything else, the Clayface story would be an interesting thing to pull off. What gives me pause about it is that supposedly, from what you said, because you and I mentioned it very briefly, that I guess it takes place in the Matt Reeves universe.
I know it's supposed to be a horror movie within the mainstream universe, so it's connected to the Superman.
Well then what the okay, all right.
Yeah, but no, here's the thing. Like, it would be cool to see a Batman supervillain movie done right. So but I don't know. We'll see what happens. In
a post-Joker society, I'd love to see because I think, in terms of like a character who could carry a 3-act structure as well. Clayface is one of those. Mr. Freeze, I think, is one of those. Two-Face is one of those. Like the big baddies who could carry their own solo type of, because like Mr. Freeze, like that example, that's like a universal horror movie type tragedy. There with the same thing with Two-Face to a degree. So I'm interested in seeing just how it turns out.
Yeah.
Minus Zero, of course, is later this year. Still an awful title. And that dinosaur movie at the end of Oak Street.
Yeah. Like I said, I love giant monsters. I love dinosaurs, but I'm not 100% absolutely faithful to them. But it has Ewan McGregor meeting dinosaurs. It's like, okay, for you.
And Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway
and Ewan McGregor running from dinosaurs.
Yeah, we like her too. So yeah, and it might be a pretty good movie. It's from the
It Follows guy.
It Follows guy, yeah. Just because it's produced by Abrams, I bet it's not going to suck. So I hope it doesn't
hopefully,
suck.
I don't know. The whole group of friends and I were talking about this the other day. This may be another hidden mystery box type of thing where a secret government organization was testing time travel and they used this neighborhood as their guinea pig, and there's a mystery box on top of a mystery box inside of a mystery box with why this stuff is happening.
Yeah, just make it a random wormhole that teleports everybody in the story of just them trying to survive the dinosaurs. Maybe even meet a dinosaur who could become a friend or something.
I don't know. It's high enough concept, and the portrayal of it from the trailer seems like it will be a fun horror tinged film. So I'll watch it. Maybe it'll be absolutely terrible. Maybe it'll be fun,
yes.
For the whole family. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. And plus we can use, like, no offense to like the good Jurassic Park movies, but we could desperately use some dinosaur movies. I saw Primitive War. It wasn't bad, but it definitely was more B-movie tinged. I'm glad I saw it. It was a lot nicer than a lot of the fans kind of overhyped it. But yeah, I think we need a wider variety of dinosaur movies.
There was 65 as well, directed by Davenport's own Brian Woods and Scott Beck, which, look, not everything's going to be a winner.
You're rooting for it, and then it was like, oh, well, you did okay, kid. Here's a cookie.
Yeah. Adam Driver, he runs around and shoots at dinosaurs for a while.
Yeah,
How
exactly.
can you not have fun with some of that?
And one fucked up lizard monster. If you were okay, let me go ahead and read some comments here. I'm interested to see how Dune Messiah will be, says Shay. Oh, that's coming out.
That's true too.
Yeah, I haven't seen the second one yet, and I'm kind of glad they are actually going all the way to do the basically Atreides goes crazy. It's part of the story nobody wants to talk about.
Atreides goes crazy post losing his Oscar for that failed campaign.
I know, the climax has him being brutally murdered by an army of ballerinas.
Oh no, an army of R&B blues singers, because that was the whole thing, that he went absolutely nuts and embarrassed himself on many public occasions, Timothée Chalamet, when promoting Marty Supreme, because he wanted an Oscar so damn bad. And then Michael B. Jordan, of course, was the hero of that day and won the award for Sinners and kind of threw Chalamet into a slump afterwards.
Yeah, but
because he
no,
tried
you
so
also
damn
remember
hard.
that one of the big controversies was that Chalamet.
I know no one likes ballerina or opera. Yes, I know.
I don't want to be like one of those losers.
Yeah.
He runs out of the interview and starts beating up Paul Giamatti. What are you doing, kid? You sing opera. That's the other one. I don't care.
Paul Giamatti, the ballerinas. But Black Swan remade with Paul Giamatti. Right.
There's a scary version of me in the window. Hi there.
I wonder in an alternate universe in this Butterfly Splinter timeline I proposed, though, where Chris Nolan doesn't direct the Dark Knight trilogy and does direct Troy. I wonder if we would have gotten Andrei Tarkovsky's, or not Andrei Tarkovsky, what the fuck? Not him. That's the director of Stalker. What's his name? The Black Swan, the wrestler.
Darren
Aronofsky.
Darren
Aronofsky. I wonder if Darren Aronofsky would have been just as bad for Batman with his script that he was going to do, the Batman Year One script.
Oh yeah,
where realistic.
It's basically absolute Batman, but less silly.
Yeah.
Not only that, but it's like Darrenofsky, I know for a while was very beloved, but he's also a filmmaker who's kind of fallen down the technological rabbit hole by embracing AI fully, and he released that American Revolution series that utterly bombed. Everyone hated it, even the AI bros. So,
Yep.
Noah wasn't half bad. If you're gonna do like a Bible movie, go crazy.
Yeah. Heaven
least,
Almighty.
Yeah, and at least the giants in that talked. You know, the Nephilim. So we'll help you build your ark, Noah, because you're our buddy. Building the ark. Building the ark. We're freaky angels who got it on with human
Did you ever
women.
see Backrooms? Did you ever see Backrooms?
No, I never had a chance to see it.
Well.
Was it? Yeah, you saw it. I was surprised you saw it because you were like Mr. Exit number 8 sucks. Spewy.
Well, yeah, and I'm similar. I feel similarly about Backrooms where I don't understand it because I had this conversation with friends as well. It's like I have to put a garter on myself and say that this isn't jealousy. But a lot of times when watching these very minimalist vibe horror movies, where they're all consumed with creating a tone that there's nothing else that goes into it, I'm just sitting there watching it and saying, this counts for a movie now, and this is successful. It makes me feel even worse in a way.
It is weird how audiences, I'll just say this quickly, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it's weird how audiences are impatient for certain movies, but they'll gladly give slow burn, low budget horror movies a pass.
Well, they're totally patient for this because Backrooms is an online creepypasta, and so the kids who would be otherwise disinterested are going to see it because of that. But also, I won't say that some of the mood that it does create some of the mood it creates is not ineffective, but at the same time, it really does feel like a first-time filmmaker who doesn't know how they want to end a movie, and so it ends in the most predictable way possible.
Predictable,
but on the other hand,
equally
what
silly.
I'm more interested in the recent controversy surrounding it, which comes from A24 copyright striking and claiming and pulling a lot of Backrooms stuff that has been made over the course of the last 10 years that Backrooms has been a thing that's existed, all with the debut of this movie on digital streaming. And the conspiracy is now because they had the "oops, not it" excuse. It was an AI copyright thing that we installed that did it. We're taking measures now to correct it. They're taking that very believable front, but there's this other side of the aisle, people who think that they were really just testing the waters to gauge what the public backlash would be.
Oh yeah, like
and
what
CBS
just to quickly say, that sounds just like what CBS did to Stephen Colbert when he released that public access special.
Well, this is a different sort of matter entirely, though, Raph, because we have to keep in mind Kane Parsons, the director of the Backrooms film, did not create the Backrooms.
Right.
He created his own version of lore for the Backrooms.
Oh.
So he is not he doesn't have any copyright on the thing at all.
Yeah.
So them copywriting the subsequent or not what the opposite of subsequent. What would be
Yeah,
that?
I don't know, but basically,
The previous 10 years worth of online media that's come from this creepypasta.
yeah, no, that's like suing people for urban legends. Like, what the hell, guys? Just no.
Yeah. But they're doing it for something that is widely seen as, okay, this dude didn't create this. But then people were contacting Kane Parsons about it on YouTube of like, this isn't right. What the fuck? This is really fucked up. I think there might be some truth to the matter that A24 was testing the waters, then just ironically it's dropping on streaming, and we can kind of babyface and make Kane Parsons the hero of this story if he then puts out a statement saying, I had nothing to do with this, and I personally am seeing to it that this matter be resolved immediately. There are, and I can safely say in my mind that I am so against the movie on one hand for being like a needless piece of entertainment that I don't understand, that I could kind of see the dark side of this regardless. But more and more with how studios operate, I sort of am partial to believing that, as opposed to them just pulling the whole, we set up an AI bot to do it, it's not our fault.
Yeah, no, that sounds like oopsie doopsie. We effed ourselves. Yeah, it's very much like Disney trying to Day of the Dead now belongs to us. Screw you. We own Coco.
Yeah. Well, it's like another thing that's of the back rooms in terms of popularity. Well, maybe not as much as anymore, but something like Slender Man or Five Nights at Freddy's. If a movie came out, was really popular, and then the studio responsible for said film went ahead and copyright struck, pulled, whatever, all of the media that has been related to Slender Man,
or even
in the
inspired
prior
it. Yeah.
15 years. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, like getting back to like Five Nights at Freddy's, could you imagine like, oh, I got stock footage of the Chuck E. Cheese before it closed down. That counts as Five Nights at Freddy's. What?
Yeah.
And not only that, but I'm not at all I know that another thing about the backroom success, like Hollywood is now just going to be, it is confirmed they're just doing a bunch of movies inspired by a lot of these kind of creepy pastas, including like okay, no offense to the people who do the VHS horror anthologies, but the SCP organization stories, which is basically those deserve a bigger budget and a slightly more offbeat take. They don't deserve like found footage cheapness. That's like, oh, I'm gonna do Star Wars when I'm doing it in my backyard.
I really want to see one done well for the robot monster SCP.
Yeah,
where it's the being who they keep contained and only show cheap, laughable movies, and he thinks he's the face of terror, and that's what is people are most afraid of because he sees it in these B movies, and then he gets out of his containment somehow and realizes what people are actually afraid of, and he kind of goes through this whole. I think there's a really good movie somewhere in there.
Oh yeah.
And I know that Red Letter Media, my favorite dumb shits, again, the Milwaukee dumb shits, they did a video kind of smartly tackling this subject, but they are they are weirdly like obsessed with both Kane Parsons and Backrooms. Like they can't help but glaze that movie, as the kids say, in every video they've made as of late. It's very puzzling to me. Like in their obsession review, they mentioned Kane Parsons and Backrooms like 57 times throughout that review alone. It's very strange, and I wonder if that comes from a place of wanting to get on his good graces and somehow insert Space Cop into Backrooms too. Who knows?
Yeah. Oh my God. You don't think it's going to end with Mike Stokowska being devoured by a giant mutant Rich Evans?
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be fantastic. The one thing about Backrooms I did like was I forget the actor's name, but his performance was very good.
Oh, yeah. No, he's good in anything. Yeah. No, I cast him as the head of Glue.
Yeah, he was pretty terrific, I would say, and he's just a naturally great actor, and you have no trouble watching him. So if the movie is literally just him walking around rooms saying hello, 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 until we get to a climax where he can really chew into a monologue, that's not an entirely poor viewing experience spent. But I don't know. It's the whole concept of internet movies or internet creators now becoming mainstream is fascinating because, and let's not forget with Red Letter Media as well, like Space Cop is an internet movie of the same vein as the Smosh movie and the Channel Awesome movies. I don't care how much you like them as creators. That's what they have produced.
Oh no, if
they're not all great.
Yeah, no, I want to see it just to see how bad it actually is. But no, if you compare it to like the Channel Awesome movies, and yeah, I can see it. Because I as much as I'm a little more forgiving of Red Letter Media, but yeah, sometimes their violent sketches go a little too long, and that wouldn't work as a movie. I'm just gonna say.
No. They're fine people to spend time with in a video, but like as creators and as creatives when it comes to things they write or actors, you know.
At least we have Noiseland. At least they do some good work there.
That's the best thing that comes out of them anymore. Is that yes, the Noiseland remixes of Balloon Boy, What You Doing Tonight, and Look at Me, Bop Bop Bop. They're fabulous pieces.
Yeah. I'm gonna say. Go on.
No, you're gonna say something.
Yeah, I was gonna say two quick things about. Okay, so I'm not looking forward to the deluge of internet-inspired horror movies. I know that we're supposed to be having things as horrible as Skibbity Toilet, and, and other stuff like that. The only thing that I do support is that Canadian artist Trevor Henderson, the guy who created Siren Head, is directly working with the studios to do a Siren Head movie. And that feels less like horror and like kind of just a really cool dark giant monster movie about people going out in the woods and randomly finding a 40-foot tall mechanical creature.
We know why you like it.
I know. But no,
my fear with it is it's just with Backrooms and what I was talking about of like this counts for a movie these days. It's really funny because on the mainstream side of things, the mainstream blockbusters, which Red Letter Media coined the term flopbusters, I want to coin the term slopbusters, because that's all we see now is just CG, and that goes to I had this conversation with friends too. There's a whole mindset of so then storytelling versus and then storytelling. And then storytelling is a film in which it's just a string of sequences and scenes. For example, so-and-so did this, and then he did this, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, compared to so then storytelling, which is one day so-and-so did this, because he did this, so then this happened. Because that happened, so then this happened.
See character run, see character walk.
It's the difference between a story and a collection of scenes. And I think where I'm getting this from is actually Trey Parker and what's his face from South Park actually brought this up. They try to infuse every show they do with that internal logic of every cause, everything that happens should happen because of something that happened, rather than, we have 2 hours or an hour to film for a feature film. Let's just have a bunch of things happen and confuse the audience. So that's with like action movies and things of that nature. On the opposite end of the spectrum, you have the indie horror crowd where it's almost like it's gone so minimalistic. It's so just creating a spooky vibe that you don't have to have anything happen. It's just like, it's so minimalistic. The dialogue can be nothing but mumblecore. Huh? What? Hello? What? It can be that, and that counts for a horror movie. And so that's what kind of worries me.
To get back to Red Letter Media, one of their best gags they brought up, and this would sell tickets on the first day because I've met the kind of people who would buy tickets to see these movies. Annabelle versus Chucky, where it's just two dolls sitting in the same room for 2 hours, and then there's a jump scare at the very end, and like rock music happening during the credits.
Has there ever been Bigfoot versus Mothman?
No, but give it time. There'll probably be something stupid. So, that's another
There's
thing.
been D.B. Cooper versus Bigfoot. I know that.
Isn't that just a movie with a bunch of shirtless dudes making out?
Yes, the greatest movie ever.
Yeah. Okay.
What? If the genders were reversed, you wouldn't say it's the greatest movie ever?
No, I've seen similar sexy movies with hot buxom babes and Bigfoot, and they were boring as hell. It's like, I don't know. But then...
I don't know. I for one, believe that The Geek was very compact storytelling in its finest form.
Emphasis on compact, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh.
You know what I mean. So...
Fuck.
Yeah. I'll get that filthy beast then. So, It's funny. There are some cryptid movies I would love to make. Like I think Sam the Sandan Clown would be great as like an offbeat dark fantasy about like was this guy really a horror movie character who was just a nice visitor who just was just too weird and awkward for his sake. So, and I would love to do a straight on giant monster movie about the Mid American Thunderbirds, but. With that says though, yeah, you're giving all these movies the rightful business. Nothing happens, minimum horror, barely anything occurs.
And a friend of mine was trying to say, well, no, he was being humorous about it, but he was trying to explain it of, well, the Gen Z horror is you're lost and you're without reason and you're without direction in this day and age. So hence why we have a lot of movies where it's as I said to you, Raph, oh shit, I'm lost. The motion picture, and that counts for a horror movie. I'm just so slavish in my mind, number one, from a storytelling, like as a very amateur writer that I consider myself, it's like I'm a believer in the old, rules are meant to be broken, but for a narrative to work, you have to have the tried and true things of a call to action and a save the cat moment and a lowest point in the narrative moment. Like some things have to naturally happen to be a compelling narrative
story. Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just wasting time. On another end of it too, have you heard of this movie? It's called Jean Dielman something or another. Which the BFI, who do those like Sight and Sound like polls with critics where they say the 100 best movies. Famously, there was that controversy when Vertigo usurped Citizen Kane. Well, in recent years, this film called Jean Dielman usurped Vertigo to be the, according to their poll, greatest film of all time. And that movie is... It's like watching an art installation instead of a film, because it's a 3-hour movie of a mother who just lost their son going about their daily business in excruciating detail, meaning still shots of her preparing and eating her breakfast in an unbroken take, still shots of her going to the bus stop and sitting at the bus stop in an unbroken take, then going home, and that's the entire movie. There is no narrative. It is anti-narrative. And that's the greatest film of all time.
Okay, I can't believe that, because how do you like you don't think the BFI is just taking the mickey out of us Americans and they keep putting
I think there's a part of that maybe, but I also think there is truth to be said. Like I compare that in the same way with the horror films where it is so minimal, the storytelling. I wonder if there is truth to the degradation of postmodern art in a certain, from a certain point of view, at least, of like, this is what passes for our generation. And we can BS our way into saying the more interesting story is being told to you off the screen than on the screen.
Christopher Nolan. Yeah, no, it's the same attitude behind Christopher Nolan. Nothing happens and it's considered brilliant art, when in reality, it's...
But in a movie, but I'll give Nolan his due in that you are watching impressive visuals from time to time. In a movie where there is literally nothing happening, in a day and age where prices for everything have gone up, like you have to be sitting in the theater saying, "Why did I waste money on this?" Like my disposable income has value that I should, as an audience member, be demanding better than this.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And again, it just sounds like. It sounds like you get like, I know the British are like really bizarre when it comes to like their cultural purity, but
we have to state though, Raph is afraid of British people.
Oh yeah, no, they scare me. That's when Mama Gorgo was attacking Big Ben. I was like, go baby, go. Yeah, just insert me next to the news reporter doing a dance, like But no, it's like, I don't know why I called the dinosaur baby. Okay, I just realized how weird it was. Actually, no, it's funnier that way. Just like it'd be like if you met Dracula, it's like,
ooh, Gorgo baby.
Yeah.
Ooh, Gorgo baby.
Yeah, it'd be like if you met Dracula, and your first words was like, "Oh, what's up, fancy fang man?"
Hey, sugar tits.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, this sounds like a bunch of like hoity-toity critics deliberately just going against popular mainstream opinion and picking something that might have its own merits. But yeah, it just there's better movies out there. If you're trying to get away from America, go to Japan, go to France. There's tons of great movies to choose from. It's like do something silly and pick a
There is
musical.
there is that other kaiju film I think coming out this year, Raph, which is I don't remember the name of it, but it's a Japanese film, or maybe it's Korean and maybe South Korean. But it's the director of these South Korean thrillers like
The Wailing?
I don't think it's he may have something to do with it, but I think it's the director of the Chaser and Yellow Sea, but it's a new South Korean horror movie with like a humanoid type monster.
it's called Hope, and I think it's more like an alien invasion, like
Okay.
what if John Carpenter's The Thing was in a Korean forest.
Yeah, that looks really promising.
Yeah, oh no, it does look really and there is giant monster elements. That one humanoid who crashes with a house is at least 20 to 30 feet tall, I estimated.
Just eyeballing it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm one of those nerds. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. And the Koreans have definitely really been crowd pleasers as far as their monster movies and science fiction action horrors go. So
All their movies. Yeah, there's a movie called Save the Green Planet, which got remade as Bugonia last year. And Bugonia was the one, and that was directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, who's a director of Some Report. But it always irks me when, I fall in love with a foreign film and then it's remade and like the world falls in love with the remake. It's like, no, see the better one. See the original one.
Yeah, all this because...
So Save the Green Planet is a fantastic subversive movie that is worth seeing as well.
Yeah, no, we definitely got to do that. There's a lot of stuff we got to stream, which says we've been busy this summer. You too with your job. But with that said, though, one movie you've been right. You brought up a good point about this counts as horror. But no, I honestly enjoyed Exit number 9. Exit 8? No, Exit 8 is the name of the movie. Yeah, it's based on a mobile game. Yeah, it's guy gets lost and thing. But there's more to the story, and I'm not saying that it's a subtle thing. It feels like a spiritual successor to Groundhog's Day, except instead of the day repeating itself, it's just this one lone man who's having a lot of terrible doubts about his life. He's at an impasse in his life. That's a major situation that will affect him. He needs to get a better attitude. And like Alice in Wonderland falling through the rabbit hole and learning a lesson, he's stuck in this bizarre interdimensional hallway that resets itself every once in a while. And it's less horror than it is kind of like a dark emotional fantasy movie. But I think it's actually really good. And if it becomes available, I would like to screen it on 1% Weird, possibly with Groundhog's Day. Or
did you ever see the true successor to Groundhog's Day, which was Palm Springs?
Oh no, I haven't. I really want to see that. Maybe we'll do that. Well, you show me Palm Spring, I'll show you Exit 8. Bada bing, bada boom. We'll call it. Bill Murray's not in it, but he should have.
No, just call it Bill Murray's not in it.
Yeah.
What else was I gonna say too? Oh, there was a movie that came out this year that I am interested in the elevator pitch for it, though I have not seen. It's called Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie.
I saw extended trailers and reviews for that.
Yeah,
that looks amazing.
It's like Back to the Future meets Borat meets Bill and Ted
meets internet movie too, because these are internet sketch artists who literally have inserted them back into their original sketches. It looks amazing. I want to see it. It looks like a Gabe movie. Gabe.
Oh, all right. Well, whatever.
That's a good thing. Gabe has a good sense of humor. You two should talk some more. Okay.
What do you think Gabe's doing right now?
Right. By the way, before I start streaming, I was like talking to Mom. It's like, oh, tell Brayton I enjoy making lunch.
I want my sandwich now. I want turkey bologna. I'm Gaby. Gotta love me.
It's a little in joke, folks, but yeah.
It'd be hilarious if you were in on it.
Right. He'll get you one day. So, no. Gabe's on the verge of being married, so he's not exactly available. So, but we hope to have him back on the show one way or another. So,
what do you mean available in the sense of talking, or available in the sense of bacheloring?
No, we're not doing a bachelor party. I don't think any of us has the money or.
No, you said Gabe's not available because he's getting married, so it made it sound like you were going to do a let's make a date game with him in the audience.
Yeah, everybody. He's the only Gonzalez brother who doesn't look like a troll creature from underneath the sea.
That's true.
Yeah. It's like me and Miguel. It's like we could hang out in the park and it's like, oh, where's my goats? You ate my goats, you two. We didn't do anything.
Yep. In fact, we're looking at Raph right now. On
I
the
know.
screen.
No, we're not. Do you want to say? Okay, do you want to say who this character is while I get up and?
They can know who the character is. They don't have to know all the ins and outs of why he's being drawn.
Okay, if you're okay with that. All right, so this is Hoth Gozu, and he's a little satyr-like alien of the Mephanoid species who's sort of a servant to a character that's loosely based on Brayton, Kano Branzant. So this is another Raph insert character, but in Brayton's rewrite of him, he now has purple skin, and he's a mini guy who sounds like I'm losing a
Jason Alexander.
Here. Jason Alexander, yes. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm drawing this guy for a big project. We hope they'll lead somewhere. I'm not going to go into any more detail, but yeah, I might as well. His gradients are almost finished. I know the colors aren't spot on or what you originally had.
You can play around with the colors.
Yeah, but are you? Yeah. Also, I'm not sure about the red booties, but yeah, I couldn't think of anything else. So these are my red booties. But yeah,
Well, yeah, we can tweak the colors after the stream. He's looking good so far.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. So, and it is a great sketch, and it's like you do a lot of great sketch work. I'd love to see your take.
But to explain further, Kano and Gozu came around to my attention anyway at around the same time when you drew a sketch of us, which I wished you could find years ago, of both Kano Branzan, a rough pencil sketch of him with Gozu, where they were about the same size back then. And your joke was they were joke characters to represent you and I.
Yeah.
And so over the time, we've developed goofy lore between ourselves about what they could be doing and how they could relate to one another. And yes, I've shrunken Gozu down to about waist height. And,
yeah, for understandable reasons, because let's face it, if we ever became famous, our characters would have so much sexy artwork. How do you feel about Kano Branzant the body pillow?
Well, no, I also think that more to the point, if I may crib a phrase, that a 7-foot tall Gozu with these proportions would look very unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
As I mentioned to you, he'd kind of have the proportions of one of the where the Wild Things are characters with the giant bobbleheads, and that just wouldn't look right.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. So yeah, and plus we need a wider variety of different size and characters. They're almost all too 6 foot normal, so for lack of a better term. So
Gozu's a good egg.
Yeah. Gozu's a sweetheart. So are you okay with me leaving the arrows as sketches?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because I was in the mood to draw arrows that day. I ain't doing this. Aw. Okay, it's getting a little hot. I turned off the fan so I'd sound better on the audio. But Goji Shea says, I imagine I'd make a Makilo Membe movie. They did. Goji Shea, have you seen Babysitter The Lost Legend? The only movie worth a damn in the Makilo Membe troubles. So, and then, okay, that's about it. I'm going to try to see. I'm going to do something very quickly, so I'll be right back. So.
Alrighty.
All right, I'll be back. Yeah, I'll be back. Hold on. All right, I'm going to mute myself. Oh, wait. Go ahead and tell the audience more about Hoth Gozu and Kano if you want. So
no, because that leads into what we're doing him for.
No. We're doing him in the back rooms.
No.
Okay. Well, yeah, the joke was I took a bunch of our friends, Brayton included, and then I created alien personas for them based on my fictional alien races. Brayton, of course, became a member of the great and mighty silver-skinned Damian Empire. So
previously gold-skinned.
Yeah, originally it was gold skin. Yeah, I don't know. Was it my idea to do gold skin, or was it your idea to go?
No, it was your idea. To do
okay.
Gold skin.
All right then.
Because
yeah.
you threw a fit when I wanted to change it. That's how I know.
Oh, just I don't know. But you're right. Your final argument, the one that really solidified why we kept him silver, was actually it was a twofold. One, the Damians are inspired by the Gavanas from Message from Space, but instead of space samurais with silver skin, it's British colonialists with silver skin. We're afraid of space samurai with silver skin. So, but also, it looked like
we don't
too
want to
much.
get sued.
Yeah, we don't want to get sued. But also, it looked too much like Adam Warlock too, the golden skin Kano Branzant. So, yes, and universe can handle two sexy Adam Warlock types. So, okay. All right, I'm going to go see if I can put a fan in front of my front door so it'll help cool this room down without me having to have a fan directly in front of me.
Handle that and narrate.
Oh, okay, sure. All right, I'm going to get up from my table. This is the awkward part. Oh, wait. Oh wait, no, actually I feel pretty good. Just a little I got no cats in here. They're all enjoying the summertime. God, I miss Fluffy. She's starting to come in the backyard. Mohawk, the eldest cat, even though when they were all born basically on the same day as twins. Like, thank goodness they're not beating each other up, so Fluffy gets to come in the backyard. Alright, walking over my rug room. What's great about the rug room is all these rugs I got for free from the dumpsters of a local rug store. That pretty much gets rid of everything on Thursday night, so I can get endless rugging if I wanted. The only
They're
problem is
magic
I don't
rugs.
drive, so I gotta carry it in the night like a bandit, like a thief. Alright, let's go and get that fan.
This man dumpster dived for rugs.
Lusco. Luscos are great fans, by the way. I can get these things cheap on eBay, no problem. Alright, I'm gonna open... Oh, that's why everything is so damn hot in here. I got a towel covering up the door, along with a little curtain. Curtain's great. If I have the door open, it keeps all the mosquitoes, gnats, and giant jumbo beetles from coming inside my house.
What is this house?
I like the jumbo beetles, but they're kind of dumb. I was gonna say something else, but yeah. Those
Unfortunate beetle energy.
Oh, bending down. Bending down.
He may not get back up.
Oh God. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right. All right, gonna scoot this about. Scoot this about. All
Man versus fan.
right, lock the door. Make sure no homeless people come inside.
No, you can't have my dumpster rugs.
Oh, it's such nice, cool air. Why not? Why didn't I do this earlier? This is stupid of me. Okay. Oh, there
I envy
we go.
his neighbors.
That's the magic. All right, hold on.
That's
Okay,
the
what else do I have to
magic,
do?
baby.
Okay. Oh. I should get something to eat. Hold on. Just a little snack.
Oh, for Christ's sake. I will boil my potatoes. Step 1, grow the potato.
They're not really good health-wise, but I got a bag of carrots, so I might as well
My
start finishing them off until they get
explosive
disgusting.
celery. My explosive diuretic celery.
Okay, I got some carrots. I'm back.
You get your rugs from the dumpster?
No. They're. I don't get the ones from the dumpsters itself because they're too dirty to clean. So I get the ones that are next to the dumpster.
I wonder why. They're from the dumpster.
Yeah, but no. These things have been great. It's like, what is it? Because of we have a bunch of old cars that need proper covering, and these rugs have proven out to be a godsend. So.
Okay.
Plus, the cats get to lay on top of the cars now without being heated to death.
Okay.
But don't worry, I hose them off. I hang them on a wall. I put some soap on.
Your cats.
Huh?
Your cats. You hose off and hang on the wall? Air dry?
As I hose them, yeah. Okay, let's see. Oh, goddamn. I got a giant window separating my computer office from my living room. If only I could punch holes in the windows. That would solve so many problems and get the air circulating. I might have to consider just taking these. I may have to.
One moment.
Don't worry, I'll be there in a moment. Oh, this ain't working. I just cut myself. You know what the hell? I think I may just turn on the fan again. Eating carrot. Oh my God, these are still fresh.
So what's up, Doc?
Whole carrot.
Got any dresses for me today or to titillate you with, Elmer Fudd, and confuse you and blackmail you and your family?
It's funny, Daffy Duck never fell for the drag thing, but he sees it firsthand all the time, so. I know you hate it, but we gotta see the Looney Tunes show eventually. The good episodes.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, when a comedian grows that old, they're allowed to have a sitcom.
What else you want to talk about? Sitcoms?
How long have been going?
The 3 hours?
Oh, 3 hours, yeah. Yeah, we had a pretty good conversation. We just had a bit of a comedy wackaloon moment. I don't know. How do you feel? Okay, here's a question for you. How do you feel about your art skills improving lately? That came out sounding backhanded.
Before.
Hey,
No,
Bryson, how do you feel about finger paint?
No, I feel like I've I mean, you do it with repetition. I feel like I could always draw shapes and things, and I feel like I've kind of plateaued as an artist though since I've been making all of my art public. So what, about 6 or 7 years ago, when we did the first title cards that I ever scribbled anything for, Andres's Christmas special title card with the Grinch McCruption, and the Hermie the Elf version of me, and the Cindy Lou Who version of Boo. I think that was the first title card that I ever worked with you, collaborated with you on, where you actually colored any of my sketches, and that was like 2000 to maybe 2020, 2021.
I don't think I'm
and
that
then,
old.
Yeah, and then after that, I think the other thing that we did for online space was you digitally colored my Mad Monster Party caricatures of all of us. Yeah, I don't know. And like, I don't think my art skills so much have changed. I think the big change for me has been my confidence in sharing things that I draw. Because it's not necessarily my preferred medium. You know, I would much prefer build things than I would to doodle things. But if called upon, I can doodle things. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know if I've gotten any better or worse in the course of the last 6 or 7 years. But the big thing for me just has been my confidence in not feeling awkward about sharing it anymore.
What did I choose to eat a carrot right now? We were doing so well.
Oh my god.
We were like inside the actor's studio, and all of a sudden, now I will eat my cards. And you, Malcolm McDonald, just stand there and watch. No. It's effortless how you're able to do sketches where I like spend hours upon hours just like, oh man, everything looks like shit. Why am I doing this? I'll fix it in post. Oh, it looks horrible in post. So yeah, it's like, look, there's barely any major change between Hoth Gozu, the sketch, as seen here, to Hoth Gozu, the finished ink colored thing. And oh, wait a minute, I got kicked out. Sorry about that. I ate the microphone.
Okay.
No.
It's passed through your digestive system now.
Yeah, it came out pretty clean.
It's no longer a blue Yeti, it's a brown Yeti.
Don't worry, I washed it in a matter of seconds. Okay, so yeah, we're doing so good, and then it's like inside the actor studio, and I start eating the cards while you just watch me.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But no, I will say you.
No, but you understand though that where I'm coming from with it is that I don't think my art has, and if it has, I think I've gotten better at small details and stuff because I've been drawing a lot more regularly since you told me that I was good at drawing, and I've been sharing stuff and we've been doing things for projects. I've been drawing more, and with practice comes improvement, hopefully. But no, the big thing out of everything for me is the confidence that I have as a sketcher and a drawer, because I've always felt like that was a really like weak point for me, and just something that I'm not as comfortable sharing with other people as my props and things that I make. And I feel self-conscious and inadequate as it is about, you know, so many personal traits and everything, that's my drawings are just something I've never really felt. I've never been an open notebook or an open sketchbook type of person where come by, look at what this is my new character. What do you think of this? What do you think of this? I don't have that personality really with my drawing. So I don't know. You guys have been good confidence boosters.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, and that includes Lewis too. He really likes all your ideas. I think even when he is sober. So yeah,
that's when I appreciate it a little more.
Yeah, but no, But no, I will say this though. I was trying to say this before I got booted off, and you didn't hear a single word of it. It was like you're very effortless in sketching these things out, because it takes me hours just to get a face right, and I really am not happy with a lot of my sketches of late.
Well, stuff like Gozu goes really quickly because you give me something to work from. Like, I noticed that's a big thing for me, is I struggle sometimes pulling from the ether. I have to have a spark of inspiration to hit one way or another if it's an original drawing or a doodle. I'm very good at taking someone's idea and then building and interpreting it through my own warped point of view. Because Gozu, he, as we mentioned to the audience, he's had a design, a rough design in place, and so the goblin-like head, the beard, the horns, the big mad scientist goggles, those have been in place for him for ever since you sketched him originally. So I'm with him in particular, I'm just working off of what you did. Same with Conor Branson to an extent. My version of him.
Yeah, should we bring him up on screen since he's no longer available publicly?
If you wanna.
Okay. Yeah, just put him next to Hoth Gozu and see the two of them together.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a moment. I'm in the zone as far as...
I'm eating so many carrots, man. My eyes are going to get so much better. Do you know the fun fact that cherries supposedly are good to eat if you struggle with sleep? They're good to eat before bed because they naturally have in their juices melatonin and tryptophan. So supposedly eating a bunch of cherries before bed helps soothe your restlessness.
So I no longer have to eat bananas and turkeys by the pound?
Live bananas and live turkeys? No, Raph. Stop menacing the farmyards.
No, don't eat me. I'm a banana. I'm asleep. Oh. I can't do it.
But yeah, my art style in particular, I feel like I'd make a pretty damn good court sketch guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, and I enjoy, and it's like I haven't shared all your sketches, but there's a lot of sketches.
All of my personal photos.
Oh yeah, those. You keep sending those to me. I don't know what's going on. I'm scared. It makes no sense. Stop it. No, this is me in the tutu. Why?
There he is.
So there's Conor Branson. This was originally meant for another picture that we may end up reincorporating. There's a reading of the Glue podcast that's still in the works, unfortunately. But yeah, there's Conor Branson reading the script, and it's like, who wrote this crap? I did, of course. And then there's Hoth Gozu. So it's Earth, yay! So yeah, no, I'd like to see you do more of my characters. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
I like some of them.
Okay.
I've done Jack Hodgson as well in the past.
Oh yeah, many times. Yeah, I know Jack Hodgson has that dumb picture where he's just smiling and he has a green slime t-shirt, but there's got to be like a more epic picture.
Yeah, my version of Jack Hodgson, he's shrugging and going, what? The drawing I did.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Yes, and that was also for another project that never came through with him and Spectrafan 457.
Are we okay? We won't get into detail about that publicly, but do you still want to do that to some extent, or you think it's too much of a hot coal to hold on to?
Oh yeah, too much of a reflection of some people who may see it.
Yeah, and I tried doing a Jack Hodgson live stream by myself. I'm not too thrilled with it. I'm going to try to save it and edit, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, no, it proves that I'm not a good voice actor. I can't keep a voice up for more than a couple hours, let alone 30 minutes.
It's a struggle for most people.
Yeah. Oh my God. Could you imagine if we kidnapped Jim Cummings and we told him, "Hey, bastard, talk like this character, talk like Mega Duck for 4 hours straight," and he's like, "No, I want to go home to my kids."
It's a chore. It's a chore to keep that going.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. The guy.
I mean, when you're in the voiceover booth, you can stop and start.
That is true. But it's like there are some voices that do generally kill and destroy some people's throats. Like the guy who played Goldar or the lead actress for the anime comedy Excel Saga. Oh, that poor girl.
And Jack Hodgson is a massive strain on, number one, people's ears, but also your voice. So it's not conducive to longevity in terms of train of thought improvising.
That is, well, it's not only that.
I know that because I also voiced Jack Hodgson in an improvised live stream we did as well.
Yeah.
Well,
Mark,
Bill,
Mark.
why did that go so well? Because I don't know why. As Dirty McCruption, I improved a little better as Jack Hawkson.
Dirty
I was
McCruption,
struggling.
yeah, you can. Dirty McCruption, you snap right into,
Yeah.
no problem, and you're able to immediately sink into character with that and swim around.
Yeah, exactly. And Jack Hawkson does need some time to prep and all that. So you almost, yeah, I still want you to play Jack Hawkson in a live action segment, but I know you're hesitant
Okay.
about that. So
I'll do that. Whatever.
yeah, we'll see. Yeah, because the guy who was supposed to play Jake for a music video thing didn't work out. So
I mean, Clooney did Grizzly too. I suppose I can do this. Whatever.
oh god, yeah, it's like buying that movie and being lied to. He's barely in it. So along with everyone else who's supposed to be in that movie.
What did you buy Grizzly 2 and were lied to?
No,
They
no.
finished that finally. They did a final cut of it.
Yeah. No. I just know I just know that when the movie was released on VHS originally, they made a big deal about George Clooney and several other people being in it. But
Laura Dern, Charlie Sheen.
yeah, but they all get killed in like less than a minute they're introduced. So
Yep.
yeah.
So Sam Neill in Godzilla Supernova.
I hope again. I really, really hope he's like the Captain Gordon of that movie. It's like, okay, assholes, into it. Flies a giant robot spaceship shaped like him.
Well, that's another reason why I'm depressed that kid isn't going to be in it with him, because I would absolutely watch Heck and Ricky Baker versus Space Godzilla in a movie, because those characters are badasses.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just another, yeah.
I would love to bring back the Three Stooges and have them pilot Atragon.
No, the fun with it, you do a it's a mad, mad, mad world type of situation where it's one of those things that you silently pan over to them surveying the destroyed city. And then you have the three blind mice as they're wearing monarch uniforms.
Right. And get the actors who played the Three Stooges in that failed revival movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will Sasso and the other guys.
The other guys, yeah. So with that said, though, what do you think about the Mad Mad World? Do you think that was sort of a wasteful cameo, or do you think that's one of the more brilliant visuals from the whole movie?
Oh, absolutely. The most brilliant visual in the world is you have this whole hysteria, and the responsible party to save the day is the silent Three Stooges looking on in stoned-faced shock at what they're saying.
Yeah, it's
great.
That's
That's all you need of them.
Yeah, that's a part of the movie where it's like, okay, folks, if you didn't get it the first time, here it is.
This is silly.
Yeah.
Now do you understand?
You know what kind of movie this is? Well, you're in it.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's how weird would it be? Like you're in a weird situation and suddenly the perfect movie character shows up in the room and solidifies the weird situation you're in.
I don't know what my version of that would be.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. So, but yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, I think pretty much everyone's asleep in the audience.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
good for them. It's almost 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I think we may end up closing this pretty early because we had a pretty good conversation. I know you were kind of against it, but re-listening to it, it is one of our better conversations. I put up that Twitch stream thing we did recently.
You did.
Oh no! Yes, I did. So it's not that bad. We don't say anything too incriminating other than the fact that I'm terrified of Japanese villagers because Japanese villagers are feared by Japanese, and the Japanese are feared by the British, and the British are feared by Americans, and Americans are feared by Atlanteans. And Atlanta.
Fear.com, starring Raph.
Yeah. Ooh,
Raph and Shoma's afraid of everything.
I don't know how to write on a computer. Ooh. And it's like that for 2 hours, and the kids will eat it up.
Yep.
Okay, so do we end with this rant? No, we'll just end with we haven't done this in a while. I was going to play the Peddlers' Tell the World We're Not In, but I'll save that for a moment.
We have an outro theme song.
I know, we'll just keep
official.
it simple. Yeah, but yeah, let me... And plus, yeah, I'm getting to the point where if I keep working on Hoth here, it's probably gonna screw up, and I don't want to ruin this good picture. Let me save it before I forget. So, in his red battle booties of victory. No, I don't want to save. See, it's already screwed up. I'm already screwing up. Just a basic save. All right, now let me save the backup because sometimes the files corrupt and you lose stuff. Oh, wait a minute. I know what I'll end the night on. You're going to laugh your ass off on these. Or be indifferent. We'll see. Okay, I'll send these to you on Facebook so you have a better look before I share them on the screen. So yeah, we did, because this was something that was always planned for Gardena Cinema, but we ended up with Sam Neill's passing, it became a little more special, and I think we got a lot more butts and seats because of it. And we did play some like little Sam Neill videos from his Instagram account to kind of close the night out. But we played Jurassic Park 3, arguably the least annoying of the Jurassic Park sequels, arguably. It went pretty well, but Josh or Joshua, who usually brings props and does little setups at the Gardena Cinema, he put in a bunch of Jurassic World stuff, Jurassic Park stuff, and I'm going to be putting that on the screen right now. Let me go and close up Hoth Gozu. There's only 3 pictures. 2 of them are the props. One of them is something stupid for my own pleasure. But yeah, it was a pretty active day. I only showed up halfway into it, but oh wait, yeah, let me send them, let me open them on screen. Brayton won't see them then. You will, but... And then I will send them to Brayton, and he will react to them, and we'll talk about them very briefly.
How will I react? That is the question.
Yeah, like I said, this is probably nothing special, but might as well end the night on this funny note. So, come on, no more. I have drawn way too many girls this week, this month.
Forever.
Spider women, women in helmets, women with hair.
Women in chains. Alice in chains.
Wait,
Alice
those aren't
doesn't live here
girls.
anymore.
Alice Cooper. Wait, you're not a girl. That's right, Space Ghost. See ya, losers. Okay, so we'll start off with me staring down a brontosaur.
Oh, you're seeing the face of God here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so this was a not an original maquette, but a sort of a model where post movie model that they used to sell of a brachiosaur head, and I'm staring it off. I was supposed to be a lot closer, but now it just looks weird, like I'm doing a staring contest.
Aren't I a badass?
Yeah.
This is built to scale, actually. By the way, you are anyway.
Oh yeah, I'm gigantic. Like, look at that poor parafava blah 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 egghead guy in the background. He's the scale. He's literally 15 feet tall, and we're giants. So Gardena is very big. Yeah, but no, they had several of the effects artists and script editors for Jurassic Park 3 talking in the theater between the movie showings, and they literally thought this was one of the original maquettes. And Joshua brought this from his own private collection.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So, and of course,
what a fraud.
And this is a giant a head replica of the Tyrannosaur. And there's Guillermo del Toro. There's the world's worst Guillermo del Toro impersonator.
I love it. I want to jump right in.
Welcome to my library. My wife hates it. She can't.
To put this right over our bed.
She can't get into the bathroom because H.P. Lovecraft is sitting in front of it. Yeah, but apparently this girl was very light. She's I can't believe I'm calling the Tyrannosaurus she.
Yeah, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Yeah, well, that everyone, all these props are technically women. Yeah, the T-Rex is only 60 pounds.
Women are props. Raph and Shoma, 2026.
No, women are dinosaur props. Raph and Shoma, 2006. Why did I eat a carrot? This was a bad idea. So yeah, it's like I decided to wait for the theater to end before I took pictures with it. But yeah, this was the big set piece, and this was only 60 pounds.
Yeah.
Amazingly, my dad came into the lobby to pick me up, and he completely didn't even see the giant Tyrannosaur right there in front of him. So.
Oh. No, he thought that was you. Come on home, son.
And last but not least, something stupid I wrote for the wall of "We Miss You, Sam."
Oh, is that Miss Blue?
No, it's in the Mouth of Madness.
Oh, okay.
No, there's a scene where the world briefly becomes blue and he goes crazy, and that's him with his popcorn.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's Sam Neill. Everything is blue. We'll miss you, Sam. So
I see the color blue in the name, the word blue anymore, and I My world turns red. I see red.
So yeah, there you go.
I hope he appreciated that.
I hope so.
You damn Kiwi bastard.
Why'd you leave us, buddy? We loved you. Maybe that. Why'd you leave
Maybe
us?
that's why.
Why'd you leave us, you Kiwi bastard? That should be the title, shouldn't it?
That was a good one.
Yeah. Did we come up with any clever titles for tonight?
Either that or Turtle Talk Soup. That works as well. We spent about 2 hours talking about turtles. That's good.
Turtle Talk Soup. Yeah, we'll probably go with that because it feels wrong having this episode be called "We Miss You, You Kiwi Bastard." And
the description can be "We miss you, you Kiwi bastard."
Yeah.
That's what we
Okay.
do now. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll just throw a bunch of turtles on the screen next to Turtle Talk Soup. Ninja Turtles mainly, but we'll throw. Oh, we did mention Gamera, much to your chagrin.
Yeah. Who was the host of Talk Soup?
God, none of them are.
What was his
Craig
fucking name?
Kinnear was for a little while. He's the only one who
Yeah.
went on to have a career. And then there was.
Well, and then they changed it to The Soup, right?
Yeah.
With
yeah.
what's his face?
There was a woman on there. I know it was a
Uh-oh.
blonde.
Uh-oh. Some prop.
Brayton, come on.
Women are props. You could change it to that as well.
Yes. I'm not doing that. Oh, Lordy. Women are... No. Because, yeah, you're not going to go with the return of Night Owl.
Night Owling returns. The Dark Night Owling returns.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll decide upon it.
Isn't a hole, son. It's an operating table. And I'm Dr. Wacky.
Okay, but yeah, let me see if there's any last comments. I'm not dead, but yeah, it's getting late. Yeah, Zyzaw Draws, thank you for joining us. Yeah, dude, it's like, yeah, I'm going to be doing Killer Clowns from Outer Space on my Twitch channel this Thursday with Win and Lydia and maybe someone else. Wink, wink. Nudge,
He's just going
nudge.
to be doing Clowns from Outer Space.
Is that a real movie?
You're going to make it. You're going to be the star.
I know. Oh, here's a dumb idea. Okay.
Yeah.
I had a really
open.
dumb idea to do like an hour-long movie where Boo fights a bunch of monsters from public domain movies. And obviously we film it like that Steve Martin movie.
Is Boo too close to Boo, do you think? The Monsters, Inc. Boo, both in terms of name and stature?
Screw it. Well, mine spelled with U's. It's like,
Okay.
I never thought about that. My fear was that everyone would get Boo confused with Majin Buu, the world-destroying happy pink marshmallow monster from Dragon Ball.
John Goodman?
Okay, Brayton, last things you want to plug.
Monsters exist.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank
That's
you,
all I
ladies
gotta
and
say for myself.
yeah. Okay, no, thanks, Brayton, for joining me. I think this was another very decent episode of Night Owling, not one of our greatest. Oh, do you prefer the one where we're more sophisticated or where we're more like, hey, everyone's crazy?
I like the ones where we just hit the narrowest of margin above acceptability. Not one of our greatest, I think, is the benchmark to go for from now on.
Right, maybe we should call it, yeah, that's another possible title, not one of our greatest. Okay, but yeah, we're going to play out the usual ending music, and we will see you guys hopefully next month. We'll try to keep these up. If not, look at us on stream. I'm doing something on Tuesday, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. We got Gamera playing at Gardena Cinema on September 11th. I hope that doesn't get us in trouble later, but we'll see. And that's about it. So good night, take care, and we will see you on another night here on Night Owling. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Take care, and thank you for everything.
Here's something to think about when things go wrong all the time. That look can't change like that high tide. Bad things can soon turn out alright. And with each passing day, so goes another life. Everybody wants to live, some people wanna die. So close your eyes, 'cause it's alright to say hello. Good night. A good night. A good night. A good night. So if this is to be our time, just think of what we left behind. Will they say good of you to last, or lose the memory of you fast? Forever and ever, a wonderful thing. Will someone be grateful for what we tried to bring? It's late, but just remember then, this day will never come again.
Oh, you're not saying a damn thing, are you?
And I offered them a peep show. That fell on deaf ears.
Everybody wants to live, some people wait to die. So close your eyes, 'cause it's alright to say hello.
Good night, folks.
Good night. A good night. A good night. Hello, good night. Hello, good night. A good night. A good night. Hello, good night. Goodbye.
Mr. President, a flying ninja turtle has hit the first tower.
Pretty friggin' dark there, man.